welcome everybody. We're starting another match of the week. I really gotta think of a better name because now there's two of them, so it's like match of the week, but there's two. Like, doesn't sound good. Anyway, I'll think about it on my own. But it's gonna be fun because I'm here with Cold Warpgates. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good.
You can see, like, I did not think about that intro at all. I just started going. I'm like, wait a second. I should think
Hell
these
yeah.
things through, but it's okay because we're gonna be having some great games tonight from Group. Pow? Changed it. Group 31. Look at that. I'm getting overlays are getting interactive now. We're in there. It's going to be a fun time though. A little bit higher skill than what we saw yesterday. But the contest today had a lot of fun games, especially if you like some of the weird stuff. You should check that out. The VODs are on Twitch. They're going to be on YouTube. So, check that out. Last match of the week of the year 2020. Glad to call it an end of this year, but this is going to be a good way to kick it off. So, how about we get started in that first game, buddy?
Let's do it.
Fantastic. Alright, so we're getting started in our first one, which is, I believe it's a PvP.
Perfect. The objectively best matchup.
Incorrect in every single way.
Alright,
Yeah, go ahead.
here we go. In the top right, the yellow Protoss, Dipwood. And in the bottom left, the blue Protoss, red SOS Toss. Now, can I just say, if you put a color in your name, you better pick that color, right?
I believe red's a clan, though, isn't it?
Right, but like, why would you pick red?
Why would you potentially spoil results in the chat? Guys, you're killing me.
What is happening?
Oh, man, it's the early, like, no one's sending out a probe. Like, what can we talk about to distract? I'm just gonna not look. I'm just gonna not look. Oh, man, so, okay.
Okay, wait, every detail.
God damn it. You're playing a match. We're starting good. Nothing unusual yet. No proxy shenanigans. I was actually expecting on Eclipse a lot more proxies because there's so many good spots on Eclipse for proxies. But everyone wants to play like a normal game, not get roasted by people watching the cast. It's like, who cheeses in a preseason game? I guess.
I don't know anybody who did that. I'm certainly not guilty of that.
I can't recall if I did or did not. My matches haven't been cast, so fortunate. The world will never know.
Exactly. Alright, we do have a much earlier scout from SOS Toss here. Not unheard of to scout after Pylon, but it's a lot earlier than Dipwood seems to be scouting.
Yeah, I think that's maybe just in case you are worried about the proxy to know, like, can I get the second gate up? Which, screw it, SOS Toss, feeling like they won't get that second gate up anyway. This is very early, so given how fast this is, I think this is just going to be Zealots. I'm curious if it is going to be big pressure, trying to end the game fast, or that kind of Zealot expand, which I've been toying around with, and it's really fun. I actually love it.
It can be a very powerful build. That was all I did in PvP for a long time, because I was no good at figuring out, like, oh, what build is he doing? What build am I doing? I said, forget it. Let's just go 2-gate every game.
I don't think there's anything terribly wrong with that. Now,
Yeah.
we're actually seeing Dipwood's build a little bit unusual. I'm actually surprised to see the second pylon before the cybernetics core. That seems a little bit off to me. But he is getting that Zealot, trying to get things going, but it's like, I never wanted to lay that cyber core. If you're going like some traditional thing, you need that goon so fast. But that scout from Dipwood getting taken down by the first Zealot, and there it is, just across the map, and we're starting the big production. Now, if look at SOS Toss. This guy he does not like PvP. So your comment about objectively the best matchup, he hard disagrees.
This is why it's great. Wow, I was expecting a shield battery there, not a third gateway. That's really wild. Does Dipwood even see it? No, it's barely out of his vision of that Zealot. I don't think he saw that earlier when that probe was out in his own natural. So this is going to be pretty surprising when even more Zealots show up, because Dipwood went for the 2 gateways himself. So he's probably feeling pretty safe here.
Yeah, a little unfortunate though, going for 2 gates like this, but I think this is just a reaction. He saw 2 gateways and didn't really know how to really plan for it. So look at all this gas Dipwood actually has mined up because he still hasn't built his cyber core. And it's like, if you're trying to go 2 gate to defend 2 gate, I think that's completely fine. But SOS is really leaning into this. 3 gateways, both shield batteries for everybody. Like, this is wild. I've never seen an opening like this before.
Yeah. So it looks like he got spooked by the shield battery. He's trying to go down here and fight, but it's 3 versus 3, and the micro seems pretty even. Here we go. We do have a reinforcement zealot showing up for that one right as it dies.
Oh, the shield battery though coming
very
in
nice.
clutch, trying to stop things. Now, Dipwood has a minor zealot lead right now and has that reinforcement advantage, but there is just more gateways from SOS toss. So I think over time the numbers will overwhelm. But these shield batteries are just being super obnoxious, making it hard. But you see SOS toss, the zealot count already kind of building up. It's just there's not that much room on the ramp. How do you actually work your way up? Unless Dipwood just lets you in.
Yeah, it's such a big lead on the zealots now, like you expect with this third gateway. And Dipwood's having such a hard time holding ground here. He's only now pulling the probes, trying to fight these zealots off of his gateways, but I think it's too little too late.
Yeah, once you kind of start getting behind like this naked, especially if they can surround the opening where the gateway comes out and all three of these zealots can just start punching the first zealot that comes out, you can see he's just going for big probe damage, which SOS Toss did cut probes, not looking to take an expansion or anything. Still hasn't even built a gas geyser you can see on the mini-map, so really just leaning into the zealots. He's doing big damage, but he has to do big damage.
This is definitely all in, but I think it's worked. Yes, and Dipwood taps out of the game.
Alright, so there's the PvP for the night. Okay. I respect it. Like, that's fine. You don't have to. Cheese is a part of the game, and it's like you gotta be ready for it, especially on a map like Eclipse. I'd be ready for it. But that one gateway just out of vision, if that was like preparation, that's a really good preparation. Like if you're on the ramp, you can't see it, but that also could have been luck. We'll never know.
And that's the magic of PvP. Is it luck? Is it skill? Who knows?
The people in the chat are gonna steal that build. Did you know gateways are strong and so are zealots? Alright, so we're going to get into our second game. That was a quick little teaser. Get us started on the night correctly, I guess.
Now we're... Alright, we have in the top right, DM Arya in the red Terran. And in the bottom left, still not red. We have the black Protoss, red SOS Toss.
Whenever I see that question, like you play ladder, you play against somebody, when I see that question, that answer could be the indicator of like, you know what, I'm gonna cheddar cheese it. Like we're gonna get in that mix. Like that's a question. I love the SOS toss. A little chatty at the beginning, trying to get a vibe. Like, cause it's fun to do. Like make it a little more friendly of an environment. But it's like maybe they are typing and miss an SCV early. Like you can just kind of like there's a chance.
Yeah. The front rush is a real thing, but I have to mention we just got rated by 80s Mullet with 65 viewers, so that's pretty hype. Welcome everybody. This is game 2.
Yeah, you already missed a fantastic PvP where zealots were everywhere. Fantastic builds from both players. So I mean, depending on who you are, maybe you're glad you missed on that one. Now I am seeing. We got a probe moving across the map. Again, this is kind of that early scout, so I'm curious if this is going to be like some kind of reactions. Like if I see him not taking the gas, if I see him not walling off, I'm going hard. If SOS Toss is just one of those kind of players, but I guess we'll find out soon. Because like, especially on a 2-player map, I don't feel the need to probe scout, especially on Pylon. It's like you could scout with a Zealot or a Dragoon, or at least like wait till the gateway start. Like it just feels weird to scout so aggressively unless you're looking for some kind of adaptation.
Yeah, I bet he's going for a gas steal, but in these positions, it's really hard to pull that off. So you have to cross the whole Terran base to do it. If they spawned in the opposite sides, this kind of fast probe with a gas steal will be much more likely to work.
Yeah, I mean, on a 2-player map, you know where it is. It does get Arya to build the gas, so if there was like a chance, like maybe I'm gonna do a gas expand or do something a little bit weird like that. It does force them to take it, so not really too big of a deal either way. We're actually seeing the SOS Toss does know how to build an assimilator. Gonna actually be building some kind of tech units this time. Nothing too unusual we're seeing so far. Probe mentioned the GAD, the base, and I don't really know what the plan is there because there's nothing really threatening you to get you out of that base just yet. Like you can just afford to stay in there, get as much knowledge as possible.
Yeah, you can stay in there until the first Marine at least. I do like that this SCV chased the probe halfway across the map, so this probe's still getting a good amount of value for the Protoss player.
Yeah, not so bad.
Yeah, but it looks like it'll just turn into a normal-looking game from here on out.
I'd never liked this. When you get that first Zealot, especially on a 2-player map with issue, you know everything is. And I see that mini map. We'll talk about that shortly. But when you have that first Zealot like on the map, it's like you're never gonna kill an SCV. Like, you never should kill one. So it's always like a little bit weird to me when I see like you chase the SCV like this. But it is forcing them out of the base. Like, you don't have to wait for that Dragoon. But there's a pylon in the north side of the base, so SOS toss. Maybe he was crunched for time for this week. And just in the mood to do some weird stuff. He's even faking the Cybernetics core research. He's getting air weapons, faking the oh no, I'm getting Dragoon range. Everything's completely normal. Which there's only one build for this. There's a Citadel with Dune. We're getting proxy DT tech.
This guy is speed running his CPL group right now. This is spicy. I love it.
Now, here's the issue I always have. That's like, all right, you do something crazy like this. This is fun. That first Drunk does come out. It's gonna stop the SCV scout before there's any big things. Good Marine micro to take out the first Marine, or the first Zealot that got sent across the map. But it's like you see the Cybercore spinning. You see one gate. Everything kind of looks pretty normal. So like, Arya at least doing the kind of thing that gives you an option when you play against DTs. They're going blindly into mines. That'll give you some options here, but this always still has so much potential. And even proxying 2 more gateways, there's going to be 3 total on the map, just to make sure it's like you're going to get no knowledge if you come by my base. There's nothing you're going to see.
Yeah, and this is so. This looks like an FD. I mean, yeah, it is an FD. DTs are pretty good against that. I mean, they pretty much shut it down. There is some chance for mines to kind of swing the game either way, but that's in a normal situation. So I think what's going to happen is SOS Toss is going to build 1 DT at home and 2 DTs at the proxy, and the DT at home will clean up the FD, and the 2 FDs from the proxy will just clean up the Terran base. Because we don't see mines defensively at all. This Vulture is just crossing the map, so there's nothing in the Terran base to stop this a DT rush.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough. A lot of big damage potential for it. Arya did manage to take an expansion up, but when you don't have any detection, a lot of units getting killed for free. But if you're Arya, you gotta be looking. Why was there only 1 goon with your push out? Red flag should already be up.
Oh, but this Vulture is still being rallied. I don't see any detection going up, so I don't think Arya has sent it up at all. He's definitely going to be curious about why he's being allowed to walk up this ramp. And there we go. The DT smartly picks off the mines. Very nice.
Alright, good swipes to kill off all those mines. The DT going to be able to stop everything. Now there's mines laid at the natural. That's going to be a little bit harder, but the Marines are basically left for dead at this point. But the 2 DTs do get into the main, and you can see a Vulture got made, but it's a little bit late to the party. It's going to be hard to stop this from doing very critical damage.
There's absolutely nothing here to defend the Terran base. We see mines on the ramp with the Terran base, but it's too late. The DTs are already inside. Oh no, is this mine going to blow up all these SUVs? Gets 2 already.
Oh no.
Oh!
Alright, so I mean, that's
brutal, and there's still a DT alive.
Yeah, you see more mines. Really trying to just stop this from getting out of control any further. One DT walking through, takes hits, but doesn't even die. And
here we go, hit with a single G. Protoss, everyone.
And we, as pros players, wonder, why do people hate this race?
Yeah. Well, what I'm wondering is, why do I try to macro? Why don't I just do that every game? I don't want to get the Arbiters. I just want to make DTs, dude.
Dude, every time I try stuff like that, it never works. Like, it's always just like, no, I want BBS. I'm in your base. You're never going to live long enough to get it. Or I blindly
that's the game. That's the game where the Terran completely, absolutely tightly walls off and just blindly gets turrets.
All right, so I was making jokes yesterday about we were casting. Like, I think I'm exposing this guy as like a big macro player that keeps like taking exposed attributes. But if you're watching these games from SOS Tosser, are you starting to wonder like, if I play this guy, what is he about to do to me?
Yeah, see, we were saying people don't cheese in the preseason, but what if you're normally a macro player and you just cheese in the preseason? Now everyone's gonna be terrified the whole time. But anyway, returning from the last game, in the top right we have the blue Terran, DM Arya, and in the bottom left we have the yellow Zerg, Cozy? Is this guy who casted with you yesterday?
Yes.
Kaz? Okay.
Yeah, no, we went over this. Actually, I went over this right before we went live. I'm like, so how do you say your name? And he was just like, oh, no. Like, it's Kaz, but then like little backstories. Like, you said Cozy once, people started saying it. And then the moment I started the cast, I introduced him, and I completely forgot the entire conversation. So it was
perfect.
It was funny. Like, it's not about what you think your username is, it's about what other people think your username is. We'll have to see,
Alright.
though, because we cast some ZVTs yesterday. We saw some very different styles, and I actually don't recall when we were talking about it. He never really gave me the info about how he personally plays, so it'll be interesting to see what the move is here. Been seeing a lot of 9-pool with some of the CPL casts, but I still like doing hatchery first. We'll see what he elects for.
Yeah, well, let's see here. I remember, was it last week or the week before, we saw a Zerg go 9-pool, like, every ZVT on this map?
I think so. Like, we saw one yesterday as well. That was just like, 9-pool's my opening. He did it in actually all 3 matchups, which is like that is a player that likes lanes and getting some stuff done. Although we're seeing drones getting made and a drone getting moved out down towards the natural, so I'm guessing it's going to be that hatchery first, going for a more normal kind of opening. Already starting that barracks up. We have to see what the gas time is, see if we're getting any indication of what it is, and considering that gas starting already now, this might be a little bit of that mech play.
Yeah, it's definitely an early guess. Do you know if this map is good for Goliath build or not? Or do you think of like a 1-1-1 or something like that?
I play Baros, man. Like you're not getting the matchup insight
Dang
here.
it! I was trying to pass off the responsibility to you.
Listen, no.
To make the call.
not for this one, man. We're gonna try our best, but it's like this is not my expertise. This is where Nablime shows them to chat, has some rhymes about some nonsense. But we're not gonna get that today. We're gonna just try our best. Now, just looking at the map, I think it wouldn't be too bad. There's a lot of like high ground variations. There's a lot of, like there's pretty big open space by the natural. So I think you would have like moving around those kind of units wouldn't be so bad. And just mutas seem so good right now, having some kind of option against them. I think if you went that build, there's no reason to not do it here. But if you're also a bio player, there's no reason to not go bio. So I think it's just the style.
What to see here? There are multiple follow-ups that can come from this one base gas. So let's see which direction Arya takes it. So far, it still looks very, very standard out of cause. Looks like we're going to lead into a 2-hatch build, probably Muta. Lurker is always a possibility, especially in CPL.
Everyone loves Lurkers. That lair getting started right away. Didn't manage to clear the SUV out, so it's going to be hanging around getting that full knowledge. And I still don't even see, like, there's not a lot of lanes not really going to be able to trap this in, so there's a good chance that if you can keep that SUV lead long enough, you can even write off the possibility of Lurkers, since...
Okay, so we see 2 factories.
Never mind. The moment I said that SUV just gets killed because the buildings were getting made in Terra Main. A little unfortunate that lose things so fast, but yeah, with an extra factory getting added on instead of that starport, I'm feeling it is going to start being that Goliath build. Feels weird to add in all the stuff that wasn't going to be the plan.
Alright, so 2 factories with a quick machine shop. This is not the Goliath build that I know. It seems like it could be vultures, probably.
Oh, that is interesting.
So I'm very interested to see how that goes.
I really don't know where you would go from here. I'm a little bit surprised, though, adding on all this, like, we're adding on tech buildings, we're putting in units. Vultures being made, but the upgrade hasn't been started yet. But at least the vultures will be good. It's going to force out Sunken at the natural. It's going to be a good thing you might macro against. Like,
there's only 2 Marines here, and there's a few Marines, a few Lings here. Fortunately, these vultures are about to pop, so it's not going to be like game over or anything. But the Lings are going to get in here and see exactly what they're facing. And you see 2 factories on 1 base. I'm sure we're going to see at least 1 more sun go up, right? Or something to close this wall of the Zerg base so these vultures don't just run into the Zerg main.
I mean, even if until speed finishes, just that 1 sunken might be enough, because it's hard to run by a sunken not taking very big damage. But yeah, if you can plug that up, you can just use some Lings, as you can see right there. That's going to be enough just to slow it down, make sure you take some extra hits. An armory from the Terran player being started, so like maybe just waiting to kill those Lings, make sure that there's no scouting info in there before making that transition. So we'll be looking like getting that defense, while that Spire that was started a little bit ago is nearing completion. So Kaz going for that 2-hatch Muta, going to try to get some damage done.
Doing a good job holding off these vultures. Takes one out for free, basically, and has these 2 Lings on the ramp to block the run by. So Kaz looks like he knows exactly what to do here. And I'm a little bit worried for Arya, because I don't see, much of a way out of this build here. I know that these factory builds were popular for a long time, but they usually also got a quick natural, and it's almost 6 minutes. We don't even see like signs of a natural coming. So this is going to be a lot of reliance on these Goliaths coming out, and we already see the range upgrade. That's wild. I guess these mutas are about to pop.
Yeah, they're nearing completion here. We're seeing weapons being upgraded as well. I wonder if there's like some kind of a planned push from Arya to get something done. A couple mutas popping out, revealing the tech, although that was assumed. You can see with the Goliaths being made. I don't think that's any surprise. But if you're going to be able to push back these Vultures, not worry about that run by going in. But seeing that speed is done on the Vultures as well, got to be very careful to not get too out of position. But we're seeing some Zerg units move across the back, and if you look there's a couple Goliaths. But that's all that the Terran really has to fight this. And with mutas and lengths, this is a little bit dangerous. Got to be careful to not lose these Goliaths in a silly way.
Yeah, I mean Goliaths are pretty good, especially in these smaller fights. I think like their ground DPS is not terrible. Let's see how this goes. Looks like the Zerg army is a bit unsure. They end up running in and running out, so take some free hits, but they only lose a few links, so no great loss.
Yeah,
yeah, I'm starting to get really worried about this build from Arya because he's already stuck on one base and he's spending a lot of money on turrets.
Yeah, and even still find that opportunity where there's just no defense. Turret's not up yet. There's still some Goliaths, and that range upgrade did finish, but still being able to just keep Arya back, try to poke in, do whatever damage you can. While you see like a third hatchery going up, Hydra Den is completed, so that could be your move towards Lurker Tech, or just have Hydras to fight off these kind of units. And if Terran stays on one base for too much longer, I'm a little bit worried. But this is still a pretty intimidating army as +1 weapons for these Goliaths. It's about to finish.
I feel like we're going to see this push go on. I feel like the game is just going to come down to this, because if this push doesn't work, I don't think Terran has enough eco to back it up. But we do see this natural going up. Arya is, of course, the Terran player, and I'm not, so maybe he knows something I don't.
Hey, this is why I was like, listen,
yeah.
I don't have the expertise in this matchup. I'm not going to take the guesses. Like, I know better than that. We're going to see what the move's going to be. But, you know, that natural being established, lots of Goliaths here. It's going to be hard to poke in. But Goliath's not the fastest unit, so this, as his mutant count grows, there's some turrets to help, but there's going to be opportunities for Kaz to really get some good damage done, especially since there's not a lot of turrets in all the spots you're looking for. They got some covering these SCVs, and there's some covering some of these production buildings, but like it isn't covering the left side. So as more factories are getting on, like this might be dangerous, but Kaz doesn't want to lose his foothold, not going to try to risk anything too much, and just comfortable sitting back at home. I'm actually a little bit surprised to not see a third base started or any attempt at it.
Looks like these units are coming to clear it out, and we do see a drone. Looks like Kaz was waiting to see what Terran was going to do, because, you know, if you're against a one-base Terran, you don't really need 3 bases. But now that Terran is getting up to that natural, Kaz promptly takes a third base. We see this push coming out here. It looks like the mutas are going to fly right by it, so we might see a little bit of a base trade. Now the Terran does sniff it out, maybe, and the Goliaths head back. We do see some Hydras out of Zerg too, so it seems like it'll be pretty rough for this Terran army to get any damage done.
Yeah, I mean, you see it in Hydra upgrades starting to get added on, so moving into an army that's going to be better equipped to fight these Goliaths. While still, like, mutas aren't that bad against Goliaths to begin with, especially has some supporting cast. But, like, this isn't something I've seen from some players where Kaz really leaning into the mutas, actually upgrading them, and going past one control word. But a fight's starting to happen here. There's a decent amount of Hydras and mutas here, and it's really just Goliaths in this one siege tank. If you take out that tank before it hurts the Hydras,
I think it's picked off.
yeah, this is a pretty good fight for Kaz, managing to clear everything out, and the production back at home for the Terran player, not quite there yet. This is a good opportunity. Say no more. Arya's like, all right,
there we go.
got
All
it.
right, tapped out.
All right, so, man, just everyone, like, not like last night where we had a bunch of good macro games. Again, VODs are on the Twitch, and they're going to be on the YouTube, so if you want to check that out, that was a good, fun night, a lot of very interesting games. But so far tonight, just a little bit of a speed run, a lot of fast games, early pushes, whether they worked or they don't, and it's just interesting to see such a stark difference just 24 hours shortly ago.
Yeah.
I don't know, like we're getting some fast games on, but there's nothing wrong with that. One of the big things that happens while you're trying to learn Brood War is you're just gonna lose games. Like you're gonna lose to a push, you're like, oh, that's stronger than I thought. Oh no.
Yeah, I think it was J9 and maybe Artosis that said, like, if you get to the 10-minute mark in Brood War, you're doing good. Because there's so many reasons you can lose. All right, in the top right, in the red Terran, we do have Medios. And in the bottom left, the victor of last game, the now purple Zerg, Cause.
I mean, room for Kaz, a great color choice. Like this is I love playing the purple, so I respect that. Now I am actually a little bit intrigued because while we used to see it a lot, that like kind of Goliath build or 1-1-1, way back. Which I mean that's a lot harder. I'm not expecting to see that for a CPL level, but that used to be a lot more popular. It seems like people are going back to bio a little bit more, whether that just be comfort or if it's just like they're getting tired of doing the Goliath thing because it's less interesting to them. But like Kaz has had a pretty decent plan, I guess, to fight against that kind of Goliath style. So I'm hoping for Medias we see bio instead, a little more traditional game. See how that one plays out instead.
Yeah, I feel like that's why the mech builds aren't quite as popular. Just because they're eventually figured out how to block them. It's not like a hard counter certainly, but it does make them less appealing. Either parents are going to go back to the tried and true bio builds.
Yeah, I think it's just like one of those things though, where it's like bio seems like it's more fun to play. Like if you were playing Terran, like to me, it's like moving around, stimming, and like you got like you use more science vessels. You kind of go. That seems like a more fun style of play. Like
Yeah,
there's always that kind of delusion where you just be like, but what if I'm the micro master? What if I can make magic happen? It's,
yeah.
like a live build.
Yeah, I feel
really
like bio would be a ton of fun until you see like 20 supply die in 2 lurker spines. That's the part where I'd be like, all right, next game, I'm going back.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that. Although, even with me playing Protoss, like lurkers is the bane of my existence. I'm gonna die to them anyway.
Ridiculous. But does look a lot more standard this game. Medias looks like he'll probably be able to get a 15cc here when he sees that Kaz has once again gone for the 12 hedge. By the way, do you know, is it Medias or Medjas or something? This is one of those names that I've only ever read and not said.
No idea. Medias was my guess too, so that seems fair to me. We can go with that. Now we're seeing like the hatchery first, the pool nearing completion, so just a lot of drones. Kaz looking like he's got a very similar open to what we had before. Meanwhile, Medias not taking that gas, going really fast for this command center, but there's no like bunker at the front yet. Hasn't really started producing a lot of these units just because it's quick. So I'm curious to see if there is going to be that bunker. Is Kaz going to take that shot? It's like maybe I can make a bunch of lings and get some damage done, or stay on the course where it's just like I'm going right to that lair tech. I'm going right for that spire, just like he did last game.
See here, and Medias does have this scout in here. Oh, really? As soon as I say that, this SCP leaves. Well, I was going to say that this SCP could be here to count the larva. Looks like he's going to go check on that natural timing. But there's still nothing to check out this SCP. Here we go. Okay. We do see that lair started immediately. So it looks like another 2-hatch game from Kaz, and no reason to fix what's not broken.
Well, there's going to be a very different field, though. That's the second barracks going down. Gas going down now is going to be able to get the Terran's going to be able to get the upgrades they're looking for. So I'm expecting an Academy or an Engineering Bay reasonably soon. But we're not seeing anything too unusual from both players so far. I was a little bit surprised that as the lair start, also the link speed start. It wasn't like the link speed ahead of time. It was just like exactly the same time, had all the gas and everything built up. So that seems a little bit weird to me, but I'm not a player.
I think that is like I guess I didn't really catch the exact gas timing, but I think that is one of the things Zerg can do. If you get gas just a bit earlier, you can actually have 200 when the spawning pool finishes. And that's about all I understand about it as a Protoss player. I assume it's like you sacrifice the economy to keep your tech and be safer by also having the speed links faster.
This might be a little bit dangerous for Medias here. You see that there's a supply depot, but no bunker started. There's a couple Marines, but not a really critical mountain. Now that Zergling speed's finished and Morgan and rallied across, I think there's a big opening that if you run here, you can do some very big damage, because where are these Marines going to go to micro against it? Ko's going in and is going to see if he can get a big surround. Although he's kind of stuttering just a little bit, not getting this around as fast as possible. He's still going to do big damage. SCV's getting pulled, blocking up the ramp, but still, some of the links managed to get through. These Marines are going down fast, and I think Kaz has got the foot on the throttle to finish this game all strong.
These lings are brutal. Getting so much damage done. I really feel like this depot should have just been a bunker. Like, they cost the same, and he had plenty of room on supply. Just being a bit greedy there, trying to pre-build the depot, and he's like he's definitely paying the price for it. Even if he doesn't die here and he cleans up these links, he lost so many Marines. He lost a handful of workers and so much mining time. And back home, Kaz is not over investing in this at all. We didn't see any more lings. We do see the Spire, and we're about to have 600 gas for when these 6 larvae come up, which is kind of wild because he's still on 1 gas. So it seems like this build is like really mapped out for Kaz. And Terran has no ability to threaten Zerg at all for so long now. Like their Marine count got reset. There's 3 Marines here. There's no way you can like force a sunk or anything like that. So Kaz is going to be safe to keep making mutas and get that 3rd base up real quick.
Well,
I mean, these are still here.
I mean, honestly, I don't even think 3rd base is going to be on the menu because you look around and what Medias has to deal with. Like I said, Marine count's so low. Engineering Bay finished, but no turrets even started yet. And these mutas are about to pop and start moving across. Like, I don't know if Medias is going to be ready for when these mutas show up. Like, just having to deal with the links is enough pressure to keep things going.
Yeah,
but
I think you're right. I've done this so much in PvZ. I'm like, all right, I can't scout him, but he can't be going mutas because he made so many lings, right? Nope. That's exactly when the 6 mutas show up. That's what we're going to see here. And I think you're right. Yeah, there's no turrets. We're going to see a trickle of Marines. I don't think Terran has anything to stop this.
Yeah, I mean, even realistically, as mutas keep coming in, the biggest thing is, like, no turrets is already big, but no turrets over the production after you reset how many things. This bunker doesn't get finished. Medias immediately tapping out, knowing you're not going to survive this. Kaz taking another very decisive game. Like, this is not the night I was expecting. I'll be completely honest.
That was game 3, right?
That was game 4. That was game 4 already. We're going fast on this one.
All right. I hate to break up the pace, but I actually need like a 5-minute break.
You can have a 5-minute.
Can we
break.
do that? All right.
Yeah.
I will be back as soon as possible, everybody.
That is not a problem. Well, what do we think, guys? We're giving them a little bit of a break. I mean, we've gone through a lot of games. I can start on the next one. I know it has Protoss in it, so I can kind of solo cast and get through it. Or if we want to, like, we just chat with we can chat with people. I can start plugging things. That's what we should do. So I know there's a cast lined up for January 1st. That's going to be with IRK Royal Blue, and it's going to be with Strikes and Gutters. So they're being valiant. They're not going to be too hungover after New Year's Eve. They're going to give you content to start the year off right. So that's going to be a good time. When do pupils play? So right now we're currently in the preseason of, like, the preseason's over. We're in the break between. We're trying to form teams. Early in January, we're gonna have things lined up, and we're gonna kick that off once we have everything settled. We're gonna do a team reveal stream. That's gonna be with a couple of the mainstays. We'll see something we did one like this last year. I think it's gonna be the same kind of people. You'll see I'll be there. Snipe's gonna be there. You can see him in the chat, and then we're gonna see I think Strom Colin's gonna be there, and IRK Age loves hosting that for us. So that's gonna be a fun time. That's when everyone's gonna know what teams they're on. We get started on the regular season. Right now, we're just kind of getting everything set up and doing a lot of casting during this holiday break while everyone's home. And you can't go out. Like, you're being responsible. You're staying home. So what else are you gonna do? You're gonna watch Starcraft with us, and that's why we're making sure we get that. If you're enjoying these casts on this channel particularly, you should follow this channel because we have 2 matches a week. So we're gonna do one that's lower tier and we're gonna do one that's higher tier. They're every week. I'm trying to set them to be Tuesday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, like flat. But I work with the caches I'm working with. Occasionally they're gonna be a little bit off, but that's basically the plan we're kind of sticking to. So that's gonna be a good time. But we've had plenty of other casters casting games. If you're on our Discord, the bot in the channel, link that just above, you scroll up, you can follow the channel. We have a channel called CPL Official Casts that will tell you, hey, like, who's casting one. We've had plenty of help from some people. We've had some coaches get in the mix. We had some just new people trying their hand at casting. So it's been a lot of fun so far in preseason. A lot of games getting casted. You want to participate? How do I enter? Well, that guy Snipe in the channel, like, he is going to be the kind of guy that can help you out with that. But right now, you're going to go to TL.net. We have a thread there for CPL 6 signups. You can just Google CPL 6 signups TL.net. First thing that comes up for sure. Or Snipe's going to be a good guy and link that in the chat for me. Right now, you're going to be put on a wait list in case some teams need some more players involved, if we're having like some inactivity or some people have obligations that they can't avoid anymore. Other than that, it's still just a good community to be around. A lot of people looking for games, like you find people of low skill or reasonably high skill. You can get some advice from people. Like we have all these like resources. So even if you're not in the league playing in the matches, you can still have a great time. Snipe is gonna link that stuff for me. Like he knows he knows I'm running this show. I don't need to be diving for links and stuff. He's got that under control for me. I know he does. But early in January, we'll do that team reveal stream. Then the regular season is going to get started off. It's going to be such a good time. I'm excited to do that team reveal and kind of get cracking, meet whatever team I'm on, and start working with the coaches and improving up. The overall skill from the league we've seen, we've had so many more people join, and just watching some of the preseason games or casting them, it feels like the skill level every season is getting a little bit better, although we're still getting tons of new people. It's been really fun. Really? The bot? You son of a... The bot is out of control.
Oh my god. I'm back, by the way.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Someone being very helpful trying to link the thread to sign up for CPL, and the bot said no.
No!
This is why I told Snipe to do it. He's a mod, he can't get booted.
Savage.
Oh man, that's brutal. That's okay, we can get back into the casting. Figure we take a little break, answer some questions. But we're going to get into another one. We're going to see a process time. We'll know what we're talking about. We're done with the, actually, are we done with the TVGs? Yeah, there's only one Zerganus group. So yeah, we're done with the TVGs. Yeah. We don't have to go. I don't know what's happening anymore. So we're going to have a good time.
Well, there's still that TBT coming. Don't worry.
Listen, I am magic. I have the good luck that TVT will be fun. Don't worry.
All right, in the top right, returning, we have the yellow Protoss, Dipwood. And in the bottom left, we have the blue player, DM Arya.
So I'm not expecting some wild proxy tech from Dipwood. That seemed like the SOS Toss special.
Yeah.
Really embracing the kind of person that he is. It's just like, I picked Protoss because it suits my character. Like, it's... Like, I respect that kind of play. There's nothing wrong with playing like that. It's actually really fun to watch and fun to play as, not so much to play against. But I'm expecting something a little more typical from Dipwood. It looks like from what we've seen so far that they do play a little bit more of that standard game. Arya also looking like they do the same thing, playing reasonably standard kind of stuff. So hopefully this game gets a little bit further in, not just winning with some wild nonsense. But I mean,
yeah,
we saw from Arya the first time. It was what, that FD opening was a move that they had. So I'm expecting to see that again, just establish a base and get into a mid game. Hopefully.
Yeah, FD, very solid build. If you play Protoss on ladder, you'll have to learn how to deal with that because Terrans do it all the time, and if you don't know how to deal with it, you will die. So it's a very solid build, and it's certainly not like any kind of all-in attack or anything. So it's a great way to put some pressure on the Protoss and secure your natural.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised. It's one of those things that it's not like majorly important, but like whenever I see a Terran and like look where the barracks is, look where the depot is, that's like clearly set up for like I know where I put my barracks when I'm like making my macro setup and doing all this stuff. But those aren't next to each other. There's no micro ability if there was that first zealot. So I'm like, if I was in this game, I'm licking my chops. I'm making that first zealot, setting it across, and forcing my opponent to. It's like you're gonna show me you got the Marine micro. And yeah. This, as this probe walks in here, is gonna see exactly how much open space. I'm curious if that's gonna be an adaptation we see from Dipwood. Although we do see a core getting started right away, so not like really rushing into it. But you know, there's still that opportunity.
Is this gas early from Arya? Or am I just... no, this is like a normal time for the gas, right?
Yeah, it's pretty normal.
Yeah. No Marines started yet. It makes me think it's not going to be an FD, because if it was going to be FD, you'd want those Marines out as soon as possible, right? Looks like maybe he's saving money for that factory.
Yeah, interesting. That is bold on a two-player map to not make any Marines. Like,
yeah,
and it's like we do have the SCV in here. Did see the scout, so it sees that there's no units across, but that's still that's a risky kind of thing. But maybe that is that kind of scouting adaptation. We do see the factory start, but all the guys still in the gas, so that's usually an indicator that there is going to be maybe an extra factory, maybe some kind of tech play. Not a rush to get this super fast expansion, but some players just don't live that life. They do just They don't want to have to remember to put things back. And one Marine enough to repel the probe from trying to get in and get that scouting info. So a little unfortunate.
Oh, here we go. Here is the second factory. So this is very different from an FD. This is the real double. And this could be really hard for Protoss to defend, especially if they don't scout it. Looks like that he's going to send this goon in to poke, and with those delayed Marines, I mean, this goon might be able to get up the ramp and get a view of these two factories.
It's still going to be hard. I mean, it's goons against Marines. It still takes a lot of shots, despite the fact that Marines don't have a lot of health because of how the damage types work.
Right.
So
I don't think the goon's going to kill him. I mean, just like run up the ramp.
Yeah, but I don't think these Marines are going to be budging. It's going to be hard to actually try to do enough damage where it matters. The goon sees this SFV, trying to stop it from getting back in the base, but not going to be able to do quite enough to actually stop that. Now, I am a little bit concerned, though, because when you ever see these kind of two factory plays, and it's like, without building a lot of those Marines early, maybe these factories are a little bit faster than what you're thinking. And you can see that there's some tanks on the way, but it's still going to be spider mines as the first research. So maybe not like the FD we're kind of used to, but the same kind of style with some kind of early push that's going to help protect that first expansion. And this is dangerous, because when you're trying to poke forward these first Dragoons, if you lose them, that's usually you also losing the game.
Alright, but when you see that many Marines, you definitely start to get suspicious about something. And a regular FD probably would have pushed out by now, or maybe just about now. So if Dipwood has his Protoss thinking cap on, he's definitely going to be thinking about the possibility of a 2-fac.
So there's a Citadel of a dude on the way for Dipwood. He's got the expansion up, but I don't.
And a Robo?
These
Dude.
Players in this group.
What is this group? This is amazing.
Alright, so it's looking like the play. We're going to see if there is actually that movement going forward into getting Templar Archives on the way. There it is. And you can even see, like, they're out of the way. If you scan the normal part of the base, that is not going to see either of those. It might see that Robo off to the side, but that's not, like, raising red flags. There's nothing too unusual. But Arya is moving out with a pretty intimidating force. There's not a lot of goons here. Dipple loses anything, like, for free here. He's got to try to slow this down, but he's got to not, like, take too many shots from 3 tanks. This is going to be difficult to hold.
I think he just has to run. I don't think he can even rely on the high ground versus this. So 4 goons is a bit better because you can start one-shotting these Marines, but this one is so bruised. This one goon, like, if that stops at all, it is going to die. I feel like Dipwood desperately needs to get a DT out here. That's his best chance at surviving this push. But he's just got Dragoons queued here, so I don't think we're gonna see a DT for a long time here.
Yeah, this is actually pretty dangerous too for the Terran player. We just saw that the Vulture speed upgrade, I think, is getting finished up soon. So mines are being placed here. The pros being pulled to try and help defend this, but the Marines.
We're gonna get this tank.
Oh
wow.
Man, these mines are doing so much damage. So all the goons down, it's just down to some probes, but these tanks are gonna have to mic away from some probes, but such critical damage already be done. Vultures in the base, mines being laid as well. It's gonna be hard to actually do this. Look at these speed vultures with mines being able to reinforce this. These 2 tanks alone are gonna do enough. They could probably take out this Nexus without too much trouble, as these mines keep making it hard for pros to get any reinforcements down there. Oh no, not the pros, not like this.
Not like this. Well, they get the tank though. That's a small victory. But you know, I think Dipwood just spent too much time and money getting all these tech things, and this is the kind of thing that the 2-fac just loves to punish. I really wish we saw a DT or 2 come out of this gateway. That might have turned this game around.
Yeah, I think that would have been enough to help defend this, at least deflect it. And we're getting another early tap out. Like this whole group it can't be like games like this. There's gotta be it can't be like this. But this is showing, like, this is one of the big reasons that we do preseason for the CPL is we're trying to, like, people tell us the MMRs, we're trying to approximate where people are, and it's like sometimes you're just gonna have situations where it's like, but have you dealt with this? Or it's like you underestimated, like, oh, you thought it was 2 tanks, but it was 3. And it's just like, just a little tiny mistake, a little misjudgment. That's going to be enough to turn the tide and just lose in a very silly way. But those are great to learn from as well. So even that, it's not the end of the world that it's happening.
Yeah, it's just part of learning Starcraft. You know, like, if you want to get to those big macro games, then You have to earn it. You have to learn how to handle all this ridiculous stuff people can throw at you. In the top right, returning again, we have the yellow Protoss Dipwood. And in the bottom left, we have the pink Terran Medios.
Yeah, I think that is the hot magenta. That is
There you go.
the color of Kang's, the best choice. No bias here. Now it's like we've seen so many games with these like early pushes, just like one attack, that was enough, and it doesn't feel good when these games happen to you. But this is like the kind of good things where it's like maybe you are like if you're watching this cast and you're like I'm new to CPL, I'm new to Brood War, and I played ladder and I've lost 20 games in a row. You can see like it happens to everybody. Like everyone loses in really silly ways, and it's like it's not that it was a mistake or some really big stupid thing. It happens to everybody. So like the fact that these are all happening, and it's all very different. It's not like it's the same bio push killing every Zerg player in a group, you know. It's like we're seeing different things, but these are all like good little short things where it's maybe some learning examples of you can see how important it is to slow down a push when you see it from Terran moving across the map like that. It buys you extra time to get that one more production cycle, or like how important it is like don't slow down your workers while fights are going, because you can see in some of these battles that it's like damage gets done and you look, it's like, oh, you're down 10 workers too and you lost your army. There's no coming back from this anymore.
So many fundamentals and basics you have to learn in Brood War. You know, people who play this game for 20 years, they know a lot of tricks.
I mean, I've been like not like super seriously like some of our like fantastic coaches or the high level players in CPL, but like, I've been playing like since like 2008, 2009 with iCup. Like not super seriously. It's like I'm still bad. I'll still die to all this crap too. Like it doesn't even matter.
It's a brutal game. All right, wow, we had, okay, so I thought we had 2 SCVs pulled to fight this pro, but one of them is going to scout. More reasonable. Again, we see a very standard opening here out of Medios. Looks very standard out of Dipwood too. I wonder if we'll see a DT drop versus 2FAC again this game.
I hope not. I got a little bit more of a suspicion that we might not see it this game particularly, because at least what we saw from the Terran player last game, that there was like that initial don't let anything into the base. Although they seeing that guys getting pulled off the gas as the factory gets started, that is usually the indicator that it's probably going to be some kind of early expand instead. You see the factories on the way, and the pro manages to get up there, doesn't want to try staying alive to see. If he got far enough to see that gas and see that guys were pulled off, that's big tell information, but unfortunately just didn't get quite far enough to see it.
SCV is getting a big scout off on the Protoss, but that's pretty normal. Not going to see anything too wild there. Looks like the probe is headed back. He's going to see this bunker in the front at least. The barracks is lifted too.
Yeah, I don't think it's super bad, but this probe trying to get in is going to see that there's some Marines in a bunker here. But I don't think you can get far enough to actually confirm if there was a command center started or not. When this Dragoon, though, catches the SCV outside his base, and you can see a probe down at the, it's like looking at this in position to start a Nexus. We might get to the mid-game. Are you ready? Are you ready to get to a mid-game?
Wow, this is uncharted territory. Alright, yeah, here we go. The command center is started. And the Nexus should be coming down shortly? Question mark? Come on. There you go. Alright. Both players getting their natural started roughly the same point in time. This goon here, I would suspect, is going to go up and confirm it. We do have a Vulture headed in. Fortunately, there is a goon blocking the ramp to the main. So Dipwood not going to lose any probes to that.
I mean, the fact that he's confirmed that the Nexus is there, and the fact that it's like not done yet, that kind of gives you an indication of what you're dealing with. Also, not seeing a lot of goons on the map. You had that SCV scout in there for a while earlier, so like you didn't see a second gateway with extra Dragoon production. So Medios has to be feeling reasonably comfortable here. It's just you're looking like you're dealing with a very typical kind of opening. You can see with the robotics started, it's just gonna be that kind of normal. Let's get some gateways. Let's get some robotics. We're going to go for observers, see what we're doing, and probably take a third base reasonably quickly. especially since there's only one goon shooting at this bunker right now. That's enough info that you can tell. It's like, I'm not under threat yet. Like, not for a while.
Like both players, you know, playing it slow, just macroing up. Oh wait, oh, so he had to pull the SCV that was building the command center to repair the bunker. So that actually does hurt him just a little bit. It means that the Nexus actually finishes at like exactly the same time, despite the command center getting, it was like 400 health ahead when they started. So a nice small pickup here for Dipwood.
Yeah, I mean,
we see a robotic support bay, not an observatory. So Dipwood has had enough of this, you know, being passive. He's gonna get a Reaver. It's not unheard of. I like to get a Reaver at this timing. You know, it's certainly not all in or anything. You can get a lot of value from this Reaver throughout the game if you keep it alive.
We're actually really seeing a commitment to the Reaver play too. Actually getting shuttle speed as well. So looking like we got a aspiring snow style player. Found what player he likes to idolize the most here. Which this is kind of good. If you do things earlier than what Terran's expecting, there's probably not going to be like turrets up to deflect you. It's going to be hard to actually defend it. You're going to have to rely on your opponent actually being able to stop it. Goon's
trying to snipe a tank at the front.
Yeah, Goon's trying to move forward and stop that. Getting a lot of damage on this bunker. There's only one that's to be repairing. That's not enough with 4 Goons hitting it. The tank's going to be trying to do the job to actually back this off. And that one mine behind these Goons is giving me so much anxiety that, like, if you didn't know I was there, just walked into it. That could be brutal.
Probably gonna get at least one of these Goons. Gonna hurt a lot.
I mean, we're still not seeing anything.
We saw these scanners go down. I don't think he's used them yet. If he did, he might see this this Reaver tag, but it looks like the Reaver's about to spawn, and that shuttle is gonna get going across the map as soon as possible. So we don't see an eBay or anything. So it's gonna be hard for Medias to hold off this Reaver. He's gonna be very on top of his control.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're even feeling very comfortable here, just sieging up at the front. Which this is dangerous to siege so close to the front like this. Like, you have this beautiful high ground right to the left of all this stuff. Like, that's where I love seeing at least some tanks. And we're seeing some scans stowed down. Does see the support bay in that scan, so should have an idea that there might be a Reaver on the way, but maybe unaware of how fast it's going to get to the base. So hopefully keeps an eye out for that drop, doesn't lose too much. And we're just seeing nothing, like a plan for later. We're seeing that actually Goliath range on the way. There's a second armory, has that +1 weapon nearing completion. Going to 2 factories while Dipwood has a pro in position to start that 3rd Nexus. Just hasn't started yet. And here comes that speed shuttle from the side to see if we can get some big damage done.
See, oh, don't drop the Reaver first. He'll get targeted by the tanks. So the Reaver does get a few shots off, kills 4 or 5 SCVs. There you go. Does get saved and picked up. Ooh, has 6 kills. Oh, it gets taken down. But about 8 kills, that's not bad. The shuttle gets out. So Medias did a very good job responding to that scan. You know, he removed his tanks to make sure that he covered the mineral line. That was a very smart and fast play there. I wish Dipwood like dropped the goon first and maybe even like on top of the tank. There's a lot of small things you can do with a drop to make it that much more effective. As it is, I'm not really sure of the math. Like 8 SCVs is really nice, but losing the Reaver means that the Terran knows that they're going to be safe for a bit of time, and it's going to let them, you know, get the time to get the Goliath, maybe get some turrets up. And so future drops are going to be that much harder to pull off.
I mean, it is a speed shuttle, so like turrets aren't quite as effective just because you move so much faster. And he didn't lose the shuttle; he just lost a Reaver. So he did get some big damage done. You're seeing another attempt here, another Dragoon and Reaver pairing getting moved across the map. And with the eBay not completed yet, turrets won't be up, and it's like you can come from so many angles. Now, while Goliath range is finished and some Goliaths are being made, it's not like there's a really critical amount that's going to make it like impossible for like a Reaver to get in and find some value. So whenever Dipwood wants to go for that, the 3rd Nexus has been started, nearing completion as well for Dipwood up at the like about the 12 o'clock base. And we're actually seeing that he's not being a second shuttle, a decoy, nothing in it, really trying to pay attention. This is some big distraction plays. This might be enough. Let's see if there was.
Oh, here we go. Drops the goon first this time. Ooh, gets 2 or 3 kills there. Oh, doing very good with this Reaver. Picks it up. Gets it out of there. 5 kills, very nice. This is, yeah, this drop is going great. If you just get that shuttle out of there, you take advantage of that speed upgrade. That was, okay, that was pretty close, but see, that's great. That was basically trading a goon for 5 SCVs. Oh no, but the goons at the front, they target a Goliath or something, and they all get killed by the splash damage here, so that's not good.
I mean, it was
But
only
overall,
losing
I
2
think
goons.
Dipwood's doing okay.
It was only losing 2 goons, not so bad. Dipwood learning from his own lessons, though. Actually, already putting a cannon into his third base like this. He doesn't want to.
Yes.
He's like, I see what I'm doing. I don't want to deal with this crap either. So
Exactly.
he's moving away from it. Now we're gonna see where the tech is gonna be. Finally, some gateways getting added on. It's been 3 gateways for a while. Templar Archives and a Stargate's done.
Shuttle came back. Oh, it says 5 health. This Goliath might chase it down. All right, there you go. He juked it. Got out of there. Very smart.
All right.
Take it from me, Dipwood. Just get that shuttle home. Keep Reaver alive. Don't try to yellow it in there. I have lost so many drops. Trying to be greedy, try to get that one more shot off.
Yeah, it's so much better to not lose these kind of threats. But we're seeing a big plan moving in towards that late game from Dipwood, though. Arbiter Tribunal nearing completion, has 3 bases already pretty established, and a probe's already set up at the 4th one. Media's looking like they're trying to find some information, but I think its scans are going down, not really going to see too much. These shuttles are just going to kind of be that little thing in the background. It's like you have to keep wary of it. You see Medias really kind of staying on 2 base for a while, trying to power up. Actually adding a lot of factories now, so this might be moving into a pretty dedicated 2 base push before he establishes the next one. As these 2 armories have upgrades going, this could be pretty threatening.
We were talking about these drops. I feel like the most damage they've done is like psychological or just like APM, because at this point, like, you want either way more factories or a 3rd base as Terran. I feel like Medias just got caught up in trying to defend the drops and keep his workers alive, that he's kind of stopped progressing his build. So like, if you fly into the Terran base at 10 or 12 minutes and you see 3 factories done as Protoss, you feel absolutely fine, right? Like, this is a decent amount of tanks, but we've got Zealots, we've got Goons, we've still got that Reaver alive. We have a ton of gateways here. I think Dipwood is going to feel really great about his position.
I mean, you say that, but I mean, you play Protoss, you definitely lost enough games like this. With the +2/+1 nearing completion, and you could see there's no more SCVs being produced from Medias. He's committed to this 2-base push. He's powering up now in a lot of factories. Only a couple of machine shops, but that's still a lot of Goliaths, a lot of Vultures. Gonna give a lot of muscle to this. An Observer's seeing everything, though, so hopefully there could be some preparation. But looking at supplies, while Dipwood has a pretty big worker lead, the supply lead's not that big, so army-wise, this is threatening for sure, and Dipwood's got to be careful to not die to this strong push. As here comes Decoy Shuttle again to try to decoy up some more stuff.
That's awesome. That's one of those things that like I've thought about, but I've never actually done. Let's just have an empty shuttle there to draw the Terran's attention away.
I am definitely a little bit concerned as both players keep moving up their tech trees and getting towards more of that late game stuff. As we saw Dipwood move the army onto the middle map, the way the Zealots are moving, I don't think they have speed yet, and that's an easy thing to forget. And hopefully he notices, because slow Zealots against an army like this are going to do literally nothing.
Oh yeah, that is a very important detail. Yeah, Legs is not even started. These Zealots could get absolutely shredded by the tanks, by mines, by just about anything.
Now we see a little more value from that Dipwood Reaver. Was chilling at the Terran 3rd base. 2 SCVs went over there to try and start building things, but the Reaver did take him out. He does have to move away. He doesn't want to die to the Goliath that wants to defend it, but if you could just keep delaying that 3rd base just a little bit more and a little bit more, it feels like it's looking good. But like I said, Medias really gearing up for a big, strong 2-base push, and as the upgrades are finished, if he moves out now, Dipwood, like, his army doesn't really have a lot of these kind of spells or like big damage is going to help. It's just these core units, which without Zealot Legs, I don't think it gets the job done.
See here, it looks like we're about to find out pretty quick. Medias is charging across those hills to the Protoss base. It doesn't look like Dipwood is going to try to contest the high ground or anything. There, it looks like he has seen that push coming with his observer, and there we do see this movement up to the high ground.
He doesn't have the things there in time though, so Medius already up on the high ground. Zealots, or these Vultures moving forward very aggressively. Tanks are in the background, but not quite on the high ground yet. Big siege moving up. Dipwood got to be very careful to not take too much big damage. A scan goes down, a big volley of damage goes forward, and Dipwood
And we
has to
see
back off.
a leg started. I think he just noticed that his cells are still slow. That has to feel really bad. We do have these Templar here, almost enough energy to cast Storms. That could make a big deal, but they're too far forward. They might get killed by tanks. All right, no, they do make it out of there. I hope we have Storm done. I don't remember if I saw that research.
I don't recall it either, so I'm a little bit concerned, but I guess we'll see when it's there. There's enough, and then there's a big storm on a bunch of siege tanks. It's pretty good moving forward. Arbiter move forward.
Ooh,
Big
nice
stasis. Yeah, big stasis to slow this
nice
down.
storm, very nice storm. But this slow Zealots and the Goons just get murdered by this Terran army. We'll have to see if all these bases and all these gateways can reproduce fast enough.
Hey, you can see exactly where I was having those Terran army with these upgrades and the way things were progressing. Like, Medias was stuck on 2 base for a while. Don't tell me these arbors are actually just kill tanks with that meager shot. Like, not like this. You want to get those out of here. Get some Goliaths in the mix. A big reinforcement for Medias. He's going to keep putting the pressure on. If he can get a foothold outside this natural from the Protoss, he can start slicing off and putting pressure on these side bases. That'll be so hard to defend.
You're right. We're about to have 2 more Stacies from these Arbiters. We tried Dipwood a lot more time. Incredible from the fight. A decent amount of Goons, but no Zealots support, really. The tanks are basically going to blockade him inside this a relatively narrow choke. It's really hard for these things to break out. Oh, and the shuttle with the Reaver is back, not dropping anything just yet.
And he needs to be careful to not engage on this one. But finally, Zealot legs are done. Zealot's trying to move forward. There's some mines here. They don't get quite far enough. And you can see that some of these arbiters trying to get some stuff done. I'm surprised there's no Goliaths with this army to repel any of this.
These arbiters are trying to shoot down the vessel. I don't know what's going on down here. Just cast stasis. Oh, Zealot bombs. Trying to use these mines. Taking out a few vultures, but no tanks yet. Oh, there you go. Taking out 2 tanks right there.
Yeah, Dipwood holding on. Macro staying strong, keeping the supply up despite the division being hard. But still, no matter what, it's going to be very hard to actually move out here. Making use of a bunch of these shuttles to either do a distraction or try to get some drops.
Oh, the Reaver.
The Reaver doesn't get anything done. You see Dipwood trying to actually walk out now, but you can see these siege tanks, enough of them far enough back, some mines slowing things down too. It's going to be hard to actually move out as Midian's position. Just Dipwood's losing a lot of army for free, but at least he has the bases.
Rip.
It happens to everyone, man. No big deal. A little unfortunate with that fight. It looked like it was going okay, but it's just when you get in that position where you have to funnel units through this choke and just siege tanks just lay into you with their +2 weapons, just doing 80 damage a shot. It's so hard to actually break out of that. Meanwhile, we do have these side bases still reasonably saturated, unharassed, but Medias taking their own 4th base as well. Still not building SCVs though, still really focused on army. I wish there was a little more focus on getting the macro going a little bit better in this situation. But the siege on that natural, that's going to be hard to break out of, and all the production's kind of choked up there too. Dipwood's in a bit of a spot.
Yeah, it's just so hard to come back from as Protoss when you're stuck in your base like this, especially on a map like Eclipse where there's not that much room for gateways outside your main. We just see 4 gateways going down at the 4th, but I think it's too late for any significant reinforcements to come out of that. Here we go. Another Zealot bomb, but not much follow-up.
Yeah.
Ooh, very nice. 1 Zealot. Wow, okay, these are 6 Zealot bombs. Getting like 4 tanks there. Very nice deal.
Yeah, definitely a good move. Get some damage done, but it feels like a drop in the bucket because you can still see Media Supply is ahead despite still being down workers. And
we see 3 carriers being started. I don't know if it'll even be 2020 when these carriers finish, but if they do come back, you know, there's only 2 Goliaths there, so there is a chance.
Yeah, it's going to be a move
Arbiter
away.
is almost ready to stasis. Don't let it die. No.
It gets picked off on the last one. And you can see a pilot in the top left seeing that Medias wants to take another base as well. So all this pressure still on the front. If the move is hoping you live long enough for carriers, that's going to be a tall order, I think, because even if the carriers finish, what they're still pretty far away and they build slowly, you still have to actually film with interceptors. That's something you don't do in reaction. You got to plan ahead for that. Like, if you try to just do it in reaction, they're never going to be ready in time. We do see an
Yeah.
attempt of Dipwood banking up a bunch of Zealots, keeping them at the back, like not trying to rush down. I think baiting Medias into going up the ramp so he has the best chance of actually getting in there. But some mines are being laid down. He's trying to move forward.
All these mines.
And these low ground tanks, even with the mischance, it doesn't matter. They're doing so much damage here. This is enough to take out all these Zealots. And I think this might be the end for Dipwood. I don't think the carriers are going to get here in time to help anymore.
Oh, they're about to pop, but they'll have no fighters.
Yeah, it's not quite what we want to do here. This is a rough situation.
Yeah. More Zealots trying to spawn, but certainly it does not look too great for Dipwood. In the meantime, Medias taking like every base, expanding all over the place. He knows exactly what to do when you're this far ahead in the game. You know, there's no reason to like try to take your whole army up the ramp and die. You know, just keep putting on pressure and keep expanding, and that's how you win games. That Templar goes down. All right, we do have the 3 carriers flying out here with a handful of interceptors. Can they take down these Goliaths? The problem is now, like, I don't think they can kill much before Medias just makes a wave of Goliaths. Yeah, we do see that coming out of his factories here.
And we're seeing every trick in the book trying to go. Some DTs getting made too, hoping it's like you lack of detection. Even though there's a vessel and there's mines as well, like that's not going to be really quite the move. We are seeing some Zealots and a DT over in the top left, so trying to do some counter damage, but still going to be losing all the tech, all the production in his main. So even though the minerals aren't here, and that's not going to be like a real big problem, it's like remaking all these like buildings. Like, despite the fact that it's costly, it takes time, on this map, where do you even do it? You just don't have space.
Yeah, well, he did make those 4 gateways at his 4th, and we are seeing a small run-by of a few Zealots and DTs in these top left corner bases, but Medias splits off a smallish group of units and cleans it up.
These carriers die so
the carriers,
fast. No! Unfortunate, but Medias committing to that 2-base push, keeping the upgrades going, big strong army, and you can see just how scary Terran can be if they get to that spot. This is why like so many people love doing arbiters, because you get to kind of bypass that. You can either use stasis to like cut the army in half, or do a recall and it's like you can attack me or you can defend it. You're not doing both, but unfortunately just Dipwood never got the chance to set any of that up, just got put under so much pressure.
Yeah, you know, I think Dipwood did a pretty good job in the early game there. Got some good damage with the drops, but missing that speed zealot, that definitely hurt him. And he got that 4th base pretty fast, but I think it would have been better to just get more gateways, macro out of them a bit better, and he would have held that.
No, I don't think any of that was a problem. It really was like not having zealot speed so you can't engage the tanks hurts so much. That's one of those things that it's like you don't realize how much bad hurts until you try to do it without zealot speed. It's just a nightmare.
So feel good about the start of the game, but just get better at the mid to late game stuff, and they'll win that game pretty easily. All right, in the top right, in the now brown Terran, we have Medias. And in the bottom left, the king of cheese himself, red SOS Toss. Is the yellow Protoss.
Oh man, he picked yellow to match the cheese. We'll see if he's coming for another one, or is there actually like some long gaze for SOS Toss? I actually would love to see like a cheese, but it doesn't end the game, and then it goes into a weird mid game. That's like what I'm hoping for. Like that'd be fantastic. But I feel
those are the weirdest games. Where like it's like how sometimes there's a sentence that has never been said before. Like there's a Brood War game that's never been played before when like the 2 weirdest cheeses happen and they don't actually kill each other.
I love like when you get to that thing. It's like because you let's take the game we just watched, like +2/+1 2-base push, lots of factories versus Terran going, or the Pross went like 3-base arbiter trying to take a 4th. Like that's like a game you played a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But it's like if it was like proxy 9/9 gates does damage but not critical damage. They cancel their expansion, so it's 1 base versus 1 base. It's like when you get to the weird stuff, and it's like you don't have that pre-programmed script of how you're gonna get to that next step. That's what I love to see. Like that's the games that are like that make this game so fun to play.
Yeah, I remember like the first year or 2 of Starcraft 2. Like there were so many like base trades and like weird cheeses, and like you get in these really weird combinations of units. It was like a micro map. So like I love those kinds of games. They're so awesome when they happen. This game looks pretty normal so far. Menyas going for that standard opening again. Oh, never mind. We had the Protoss player going for a 12 Nexus, or even an 11 Nexus. Now, I have it on good authority from the man Least himself that I think it was, I forget the name, Kala, the Korean Protoss streamer, recommended 12 Nex on this map because even though it is a 2-player map, the rush distance is pretty long and it's hard for Terran to effectively rush the early expand here. So maybe that is what SOS Toss is going for here.
Yeah, no, that definitely seems very reasonable on this map. This is why, like, it seems like 2-player map. I know they're going to be. I don't have to scout. I should do something crazy aggressive, but it is basically a full-size map, and it's diagonal to diagonal. It's like if you knew you're playing Fighting Spirit, but knew your opponent was cross-spawn. It doesn't give you that sense of ease where it's like, oh, I could definitely punish everything. So we go to Nexus first. I love this kind of move, but it's about knowing how to defend the follow-up and actually like go into that next step without taking too much damage. So I'm curious to see if SOS Toss has that big plan. So far, Gateway's done, core on the way, so nothing too unusual to kind of get through. Looking like it's just going to be that basic stuff. And we see from Medias, he still pulls guys out of gas. He's going to just eat the loss, and it looks like he's not going to go for a big 2-factory push or some immediate like FD rush. I think it's still just going to be that fast expansion we saw last game.
Yeah, we'll have to see what he does. I think 2-Fag is actually not a great response to 12 Nex because although it's stronger than an FD, it takes so long that the Protoss can get like 2 gates where the goons up. At least that's how it's gone in the past when I've been against AA 2-Fag. We do want to see some kind of response here out of Medias. The most standard response is to like immediately pull some boys and do a bunker rush and try to at least get some damage done. But at least at like these levels, you don't necessarily have to do that. What you can also do is just go for like some 2-base, like 4 or 5-Fag. Try to surprise the Protoss and kill them before their ego pays off too much. But I'm kind of worried, like if the Terran just plays their normal game plan, they're just going to be behind. And right as I say that, looks like we have about 8.
Here come the boys.
Yeah. All right. It's a bit later than normal, so like the Nexus is up. We have a goon out. The second gateway is almost done. I see a forge started for the Protoss, so if he can just delay this bunker, he's going to feel pretty great.
Yeah, I feel like, though, that I saw, like, I was, like, keeping eyes on it. So I thought I saw the beginning of a Citadel. I think that was canceled for this forge instead of realizing I may need some cannons. I might be able to do this, but I don't know if it's going to get here in time. This is still a pretty scary push, and especially with the SCVs to help block, like, making Dragoon Micro a lot more difficult. He is moving away from his base, buying extra time, the kind of thing you want to do, but
he's every goon, though.
Yeah, if he loses much, and here comes that bunker. I think it's going to be enough to stop this, but if nothing else, it ensures there's something you can cancel, and something you can do to keep going forward. And SOS Toss doesn't have a lot of units right now. But
oh, the goon! He trapped his own goon with his probes. Oh wait, he can't get away. Alright, but the probe's getting some damage done here, but not enough. I think this bunker is going to go up, and that makes it that much harder for Protoss to keep this base alive. So, SOS Toss, keep thinking Zealots, but I think you just want goons. Like, your range is like halfway done. You got 2 gateways, you should be making goons. So much better versus this bunker, especially when there's a Vulture out already. So I don't know if I like the response that, as like the follow-up that our Protoss player had here. When you go 12 next, like you just have to be prepared for this kind of response.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be so hard, though. The bunker in position, doing damage on the Nexus. And even these SCVs here, a couple Zealots coming out. If these SCVs die, like, that might be a good spot where it's like you won't be able to repair the bunker and keep it going. Cannon trying to go down, but that bunker is going to be able to kill that so quickly. SCVs all going down. There's one Zealot left about to go down. The bunker not nearing, like, any kind of critical range. It's not burning down yet or anything. And you can see here comes some Vultures as well, so as you're trying desperately to actually survive this and make sure you don't like lose too much here. But these Vultures show up, if they can get into that main, this goes from bad to worse in a hurry.
Alright, well goon range is done. They can pepper down this bunker. And there's no SCVs to repair, so it looks like the Media's just giving up on the bunker here, trying to have these Marines poke out.
Mines though.
Oh, the mines! Oh! Oh! The goons, please! Trying to save these probes, being extremely brave, having these probes in mind in the middle of this fight, and losing the goon, trying to save him down the belt, walking in the bunker. Is this bunker going to burn down now?
This is such a rough spot to be in.
The bunker does go down. And the Nexus actually still has most of its health left. I think there's some Marines in the bunker. We're shooting the pylon the whole time. Please don't walk this goon into another mine. All right, there you go. There you go. Just clean up the Marines, and it's okay. Looks like the Terran is actually significantly up in workers and does have their expansion of their own up. So Terran's definitely ahead, but Protoss is not out. If they keep that Nexus alive, you know, they can just make probes out of 2 Nexuses and try to catch up and turn it into a normal game.
Now, put your mind in the world of a Terran player. You know they went a forge because they actually made a cannon low ground. There's a cannon on the high ground as well. So many workers got killed. Everything got slowed down so severely. If you're Medias, do you play a normal game or do you adapt into a fast 2-base push because you know you crippled so much? Do it before they can get back into the game, before they get online.
Oh yeah, I think a 2-base, like a 4-fag or 5-fag is definitely what you do here. There's no way Protoss can get back up in time for that without pulling off something crazy. We do see this eBay here in an armory, so it looks like Medias, maybe he saw some of SOS's games, doesn't want to lose any DTs or anything. We did see that Citadel started earlier, I think. Not going to be necessary. Oh, nope. Okay, the Citadel is back. That caster curse is so real, man.
Wait 5 seconds. The best advice I'll give any caster.
Yeah.
Think of something, wait 5 seconds.
I thought I did. I thought about this 20 seconds ago. It's like, oh, man.
Yeah, but wait 5 more. Just wait 5 more.
Yeah. I really doubt this is for Arbiters already. If it is, it'll certainly be too late to stop this push that's headed out right now. So Medias is diving away from more factories. He's going to grab all the units he's made, and I don't think we have anything from Protoss to stop. What is this, 3 tanks, 2 vultures, and a handful of other units. I think they're just going to steamroll him here.
Especially if he gets caught out here. He's got to keep these units alive, but takes a fight pretty far away. These tanks are here, outnumbering the goons, making mincemeat out of all these Protoss units so quickly. And there's some mines here. That might be the only dangerous thing. If you push forward across the mines doing a bunch of free damage. And Medias has such a big army advantage here moving across. I don't know how you actually stop this Nexus from guy this time. Last time I thought it was for sure, but this time, nah, Vegas odds are good. Oh my god, no!
Disgusting. Wow.
That mine, no.
No. Wow. Well, it looks like this is the only plan is to cannon the ramp and get to DTs, but even that Medias is ready for with these mines and turrets.
I got
that mine was, that was
so
sick.
That mine was ridiculous. It's a push from Medias. The way he's played this game has been great. But one low-key thing I saw it, so I'm pointing it out because this is the kind of thing that makes sure you don't lose games. As Medias, that there's an SCV at the 12. He actually checked his 3rd and his 4th base just to make sure there's no proxy, there's no shenanigans. If I got you at this foothold, I take out this Nexus, you don't have a backup plan. So SOS Toss, I don't know what magic you're trying to pull here. He's got DTs, but there's a turret on the low ground already and mines first.
And he's getting a robo. He's going for the DT drop play.
It seems like that might be the move. An Academy nearing completion, so
Hail Mary.
scans will be around. And actually a starport's on the way, so that's for vessels that work, but even if that's for a Wraith to stop the shuttle, there's so many, it seems like Medias is really trying to cover all the bases, meanwhile taking a 3rd, so he's going to be up 3 bases to 1 against the Protoss. I don't want to say games are over before they're over, but I do not see a world where SOS Toss can cheese his way through this one.
Oh, yeah. Maybe if Medias, got up from the keyboard and went to the bathroom and got a drink. But this is looking pretty good for the Terran player.
And look
he
at
actually
this
is
scout.
going for DT drop. This guy.
Yeah, look at this scouting though from Medias. He's trying set his SCV around. He's got to find why haven't you left the game yet? There's something. There's got to be something.
Yeah, I mean this is how you should play when you're ahead. You know, Medias, maybe he could win if he tried to tack up the ramp, but he doesn't have to. You know, just keep developing yourself. Check around the map. Just try to cross off ways that you can lose, and that's how you win games. So this DT drop, I don't see
He finds
I
the
don't believe
hole
he's
where
gonna
it
win
doesn't
the
get
game.
scouted. I like they didn't go straight up where
Yeah.
the SE would have seen it coming. So the shuttle does get out, and this is just 4 DTs. It's not like 2, I hope does cheeky damage. This is maximum damage, dropping some in the map. So he's not going to have to only like make sure the shuttle gets in. So he's going to have, this is a big opportunity to try to get some damage. But Medias being very diligent, he has control of that bomb natural, but he isn't keep reinforcing it. He's not sending a million army there. So he has army back at home. And here comes DT walking through. Drops also in the main. We'll see how much damage can
Oh,
actually
there's
get
no
done.
turret in the natural. Okay, these DTs could do pretty good. There's only so many scans. We don't see. Okay, so the DTs in the nat do get cleaned up. We don't see a vessel started yet. Let's say the DTs in the main are trying to snipe the scanner.
I think they don't see that turret to the left though.
Yeah.
Like, aren't they in range of that turret to get detected?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, okay. I think it's scanned anyway. All right. So it looks like Medias probably clean these up. There we go. So a very decent try there from our Protoss hero, but
I mean, it's a
I
good
think Medias
try.
is too far ahead.
Yeah, he's still trying to make units, still trying to make some magic happen. He's got these speed zealots now too, but it's like you just look at the bottom. There's turrets, there's mines, there's tanks that are spread out, so you're not going to be able to get that miracle mine drag. Maybe if he comes in from this top side, he has a chance. So we'll see. Like, that looks like it might be the last hurrah. One more attempt to try to break this. Turret's going to stop this, but some zealots going down, DTs as well. Being detected though, and this chain of things. Although moving down with more units, trying to break this. The mine's doing so much work, and unfortunately not quite enough. Does good damage, but that contain's still held. And now Pro has lost a bunch of units trying to break it. That was a good, good with Zealots. Finally looking like they're going to get control of it. But this is so much damage. 93 to 30 supply. Terrence so far ahead right now. You can see he doesn't even want to try to keep reinforcing this really. He doesn't really care. Although here comes some more vultures. As I just think that. It's like, nah, he's giving it up. Here come the boys. Here come more units. Not overcommitting still. But it's like, no, you don't get this base, dude. Like, I'm not letting you have this base. Oh, this is fantastic. I love how Medias is playing this game. No big overreactions. Just making sure he's in a great spot. And it's clearly looking great.
All right, here we go. I think this is probably going to be the last attempt here. So many mines, so many vultures, cleaning up everything. All right.
Well, that's a rough game. Just in case some of the people watching don't know, if you play your games on a mode like top versus bottom, you do have defaulted ally chat that's easy to forget about. So give people the benefit of the doubt. They're not just like raging and exploding. Maybe they said it and it's just, oh yeah, wrong format. Oops. So we're gonna give people a doubt, but that was definitely a well-played game for Medias. SOS Toss. This is why you like 12 next is good, but this is why it does have risk attached to it, and that game kind of exposed a little bit of what could happen if you go for it.
Yeah, you just have to be aware of what Terry can do, and you just have to have a plan of when they do that. But we're getting into the next game here.
Yeah, we're gonna see how it's been going. Like, that game was definitely more interesting. But just like, this is why I don't like 12 next, man. It's so scary.
All right, what is this strange race? I haven't seen this for a while. In the top right, it is the yellow Zerg, IRK's cause. And in the bottom left, returning from last game, it is the purple Protoss, red SOS Toss.
All right, I'm gonna ask you. You've casted a decent amount of games on Eclipse, especially in like recent weeks. Does it still catch you up? Do you think about what directions? Even though it's never gonna change, it's top right, it's bottom left. But I think you still think about it, right?
Oh yeah. I'm sure I've messed it up at least once.
No, you've been doing good. Trust me, I'm teasing you about it. But it's like I heard the little stumble there. You had to think about
Yeah, like what?
bottom, left. So you put your hands up because you don't have a camera. We
yeah,
can't
I
see
put
it.
my hand up. Does it make an L? All right, we're good.
Oh man, I'm curious to see where we're going for this one though. SOS Toss seems to do a little bit of the aggression. So what I'm actually hoping for here, because I love seeing the style, I love seeing how it goes. I really would love to see Gateway expand from SOS Toss. I think that suits how they want to play.
Well, you say that, and I'm pretty sure he's going for it to expand if they approve scouts. So it's like he's gonna go like DT drop and other kinds of shenanigans. I mean, you can. Oh well, is he gonna really? Did I Kaiser curse myself again? Wow. All right.
Yes.
All right. Sick. So yeah, you can always do that. Basically every other game of Starcraft I've ever seen played, if the pro believes it's gonna be forged, but like there's no real like hard reason you can't do it that way.
Even with Gateway Expand, you still like scouting, just so you get an idea of the pull time.
Yeah,
If you know there's going to be some kind of, like, do you have to pull probes to protect the pylon? Do you have to do any of this kind of weird stuff like that? So, like, there's definitely still value to going early, just because you need to know what the Zerg's doing, how greedy they're being. Especially if they go, like, a 9 pool or a hatchery first or some kind of stuff like that. Oh, the pylon getting made against the pool opening from the Zerg. He's going to force Lings to come back here and stop it. Or even if it gets canceled, like, this is enough just to slow this down. And a drone's going to walk by, sees that the gateway's here. It's going to be a little bit while before our Nexus comes, but this still, you gotta, as a Zerg, you gotta respect this.
He canceled the pylon as soon as the drone left. Very nice, very nice.
Yeah, that's what you want to be doing for sure.
Yeah, I've heard like mixed things on how much that's worth it for the Protoss, but like in this case, it feels pretty good. Like it only cost him 25 minerals in the end, and it did delay that and force some links. It's kind of funny to force links when you go gateway first, but it looks like SOS Toss is not even going to try to cross the map with these zealots. He knows that they're just going to walk into links, so this is completely fine. I think the big cost with putting down a pylon is like even if you refund it, you have those 100 minerals like sunk into it, which can like slow down your build. But I feel like that slows down gateway expand a bit less because you get that nexus later. So overall, I think this is fine.
Yeah, I don't know how much I love this adaptation we're seeing from SOS Toss, and if you've seen some of my casts before, I'm gonna harp on it. I'm not a fan of it. When you do a forge or a gateway opening, I still think it's so important to get the nexus before you get the other building. Like, you're just slowing everything down so much.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't really think about that. It's possible that he's not really aware that the third is up. Like if the Zerg was still on one base, I think that would be completely fine. But we do have these second and third hatcheries going up, maybe just a bit later than they would normally. But this lack of nexus is going to start to hurt.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, like, you need to get something done. It's like there is the Overlord here. If they want to just go scout and see, finally that nexus is getting started. But you can see there's a couple zealots moving across the map, but it's not like it's only two. One got taken out in the middle of the map. More links getting reinforced, and you can see like this is a little bit scary, but this isn't like gonna threaten to do really huge critical damage. Although SOS Toss doing the smart thing, moving them in the spot where the links can't surround them. They're just going to be annoying here. At least tie the links back at home, make sure they can't do any kind of big counterattack.
Exactly. I would love to see this third zealot, maybe go to the third. I guess this time there's no drones there, but that can be like a really good way to do damage because this kind of forces Zerg to multitask anyway. It looks like that third zealot will get caught out. Kind of unfortunate, but we still have these two here in this relatively good position.
Yeah, a little bit of a rough spot. We're moving up that tech tree a little bit from SOS Toss. One of the other advantages you get from doing that gateway expands, like you get some units to play with, but you can also get a cyber core pretty quick. You can move into your tech. Although I'm gonna call it now. Cyber core is not finished. Seeing how SOS Toss plays, I don't think we're seeing a Stargate. I don't think he's a Stargate kind of guy. Like,
we had these 3 more gateways going. I have a feeling we're gonna see some kind of zealot push. And that's not too bad. I mean, the lair is not super early. Yeah, we see a Hydra Den here. I mean, and you get these 4 gateways before the Hydra Den is even done. You're not really worried about 3-hatch Hydra, honestly. So something I've heard about, but you have to see or use, just because 3-hatch Hydra has kind of fallen out of popularity. There is like a 5-gate goon attack. I don't know if that's what we're gonna see. We don't see range started yet.
I believe it's 4-gate. I might be thinking like
4-gate goon. Yeah,
I might be thinking a more old school build. That is the kind of thing that we see. And actually, he heals this gateway then build a Stargate. This guy is on his own drum. He's not looking up things. Whatever coach has him, he's just like this blank ball of clay where it's just like, I will shape you into a normal player, or never. Like, it's never going to happen.
Yeah, just leave him as a wild card. Like, you can't prepare against this. You don't know what he's going to do.
It's definitely a little bit interesting. Now, I always get a little bit concerned when I see this kind of stuff, though. Like, you're going to have a Corsair up that's going to help you get some scouting info. But if there was Mutas, it's not like SOS Toss has gotten the base, got that scouting info off to confirm. If there was Mutas, the Corsairs aren't going to be out enough in time. And it's like, if you really want to get some scouting info done, just build a lot of zealots, you can move out. It's like the Zerg's not gonna fight you in the middle of the field. They're gonna try to do it like at home with the Sim City or whatever static D. And it's like you don't really know what's coming. I'm just a little bit concerned that it's like this could be a spot that's very easy to make a misstep in and lose a lot of stuff for free.
Definitely. So not starting the speed upgrade, getting that Templar archives. I feel like if you get 4 gateways before the Citadel, you should get the speed upgrade to make use of all these zealots.
I mean,
looks like the Lings get around. They might threaten a run by here.
oh, they're definitely going to get through here. 2 cans do some damage, but still, you got 2 speedlings in the main. Seeing all the tech choices, too, this is big, and then going straight for the probes trying to get some damage. There is some zealots moving across the map, but if you look back for Arcade Cos, he's got some units. No Sunkens even started, though. These zealots might be able to do enough. Speed's on the way, but quite a ways off. But really, also, there's no +1 weapons. This is actually... I don't love this attack from SOS Toss. Like, he's trying to force some defense, but this is a little bit rough.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's enough Hydras here to just smack that away. I feel like SOS Toss is trying to do too many things here. I know like this kind of looks like the shape of a normal Protoss base at this point in time, but you know, I think it would be better to just either commit to doing a big zealot push and get those upgrades, or just commit to getting like faster tech and get that archives ASAP. Instead, we have kind of a small zealot push without upgrades. They got slapped away, and we don't have, you know, Templar out. We don't have like a good number of them. So I'm a little worried how he's going to deal with all these Hydras coming out of Cause.
Yeah, I mean, still, Zealot speed about to be finished, but the +1 weapon's just getting started. Fortunately, it is mostly Hydras, not Lings, so that's not like as critical as it normally would be. Storm on the way, and Templar is building. There's a lot of Hydras moved across the map here, but Storm's about to finish in time. And actually with no Overlords here, that DT that just went into production, when that hits the board, that might be a game changer to force this push off. But one good Storm could really open up an opportunity to go attack now that Zealot speed's done as well.
I've won so many games that I should have lost by making this cheeky DT. Just hoping that he won't bring any detection. There's been so many games where I absolutely should have died to a Hydra bust, but I survived because I have that 1 DT. So I recommend like all Protoss players make like 3 High Templar and 1 DT when your archives finishes. Like, you get so much value out of it.
Especially if you can see that there's no Overlord hanging out, which...
Yeah.
This is why... Remember that Stargate? I was critical on the Stargate? We saw no Corsairs made from it. That thing is doing literally nothing right now, unless it's like at the prep for the late game PvZ Arbiters, which... That's not really... not really an option. You see the DT is actually forcing a lot of stuff back, although Kaz not retreating with absolutely everything, still keeping a little contingency of these Hydras up front. So the DT trying to see if we can find an opportunity, but there's Overlords at all these bases. I don't think this is actually going to get anything done, but at least stops the attack.
Just buying some time. So it is going to pick off. I mean, just the time that all these Hydras have to walk back, I think, is a huge value for that DT. I don't know if it'd be enough. Oh my god, this goon is stuck. Protoss. That's why Protoss is the hardest race, man.
Because
goons get stuck everywhere.
I mean, also that, yeah. Like, that's definitely.
It's basically just like a cannon now. It's just stuck in this little area.
I mean,
see here, this is a ton of Hydras. Are these Storms ready? We do have the energy. I think the upgrade is done.
Yes, it is.
So it's going to buy him some more time. I guess this is a pretty decent amount of Zealots here. We don't see... Okay, we do see Lurker Tech on the way. And no... Okay, there is a Robo. So this is going all right for SOS Toss here. I just feel like Zerg is pretty comfortable overall, but certainly has not won the game yet.
Not at all. We do see it looks like a drone moving now. It's gonna maybe cause finally gonna take that 4th base. But I see the move that I always wonder, why don't Zergs do this? Like, they're getting lurkers, they're getting all this stuff, but the Spire is on the way. Like, you've seen no air units. It just have the ability, if you see the opening, to just go mutas and just end everything. Like, if they come out of nowhere and you don't have time to prep up real defenses for them, like, sure, there's some Storms here, but it's not like there's Archons waiting. There's some cannons, but they're not in, like, positions to really stop mutas. like that could be such a minimal investment for so big damage. But right now it's a big Hydra army with a bunch of lurkers as well. And if you're looking around, there's an observer on the way, but it's still dangerous. If you lose that one observer, these fights can go so one-sided because lurkers just shred the ground armies like this.
It's a huge arc here from Cause. That's gonna be so hard to break out of.
Yeah,
Like,
good space.
even
Make sure
with
he can't
goons.
storm multiple at the same time. He's actually killing his forge. He needs to get out. Like he needs a bit more of an opening. That's completely reasonable, I think. That one goon doesn't matter for the goon.
Poor goon. Oh no. Even the Zealots are like trying to get that. Look, man, just squeeze between these, this giant gap between these two buildings. And the goon's like, I can't. Oh, here we go. Zealots trying to break out here, but there's so many lurkers, so much splash damage. A great storm though. Getting those lurkers and a bunch of hydras. Another good storm. These are some good storms from SOS Toss, but I think it's just too little, too late here.
It's just not enough trying to force the way through. The lurkers did so much damage. And the Hydras, like, I think that observer got, like, it just wasn't far enough up. Some of the lurkers that were there didn't get speed. We're going out for round 2 though with a couple more units, trying to clear up
more storms.
a little more of what we're seeing from the army here. But you can see it got rid of a bulk of the main gateway units from SOS Toss. He's been committed to like trying to break out and make a bunch of army. I don't actually love that Cause keeps trying to reinforce this. I think this is the opportunity. Just take that 4th base you're starting up at the 12 o'clock. Like make sure that gets protected. Because if you're looking at how the units are getting made, it should be pretty obvious that SOS Toss is gearing up for a 2-base push, and you don't want to be out of position when that comes.
Yeah, I have to hand it to our Protoss player. I'm surprised he was able to break out of that that reinforcement wave of the Templars, a handful of Zealots that really cleaned up those lurkers. It's kind of given like a new lease on this game. You can certainly take a 3rd if you wanted, or do a big push. I'm kind of sad about this probe count, but I also can't really criticize because I'm terrible at making probes. Oh god, there's a second goon. He's got a buddy in there now. He's got a pal. He won't be alone. Oh no.
I don't know, maybe if you make enough of them. Finally killing a cannon. He needs a path.
Alright, there you go.
Now we are seeing SOS Toss moving out a little bit, trying to clear out some of the space by that right side, looking like attempting to take their 3rd base. A lot of the army moving up to stop that. One lurker just kind of hanging out, gets caught off. Gonna be able to stop that, but clears everything over at the 9 o'clock. Cause again moving around, trying to get into a position where maybe we can catch things up, but as long as he doesn't lose a lot of his army in a silly way, because this is like this force is still pretty intimidating. More upgrades on the way. We got the 1-1 done right now. +2/+2 on the way. Still a bit of the ways off though. And a 3rd Nexus finally on the way. SOS Talks trying to establish that next base, while Kaz just putting lurkers in obnoxious spots. That's what he's doing.
This Zerg army isn't nearly as big as the last one in Protoss. Is much more prepared to deal with this. Have to fight this, but he is going in. The lurkers get great value on these Zealots, but here come the goons. The storm's a bit behind. Here we go. Decent storm there. Another decent storm. So losing more Zealots than I think he had to, but killing this entire Zerg army, that's pretty good for our Protoss. So I feel like we've kind of stabilized it to a more normal looking mid game here. And I think on this map, that's really good for Protoss. If you think about like fighting spirit, basically every base can be up a ramp, so that's really good for Zerg. But this 4th base is really exposed. You can't really do you can't do like too much SimCity to wall off all the Zealots. So this 4th base is really easy for a Protoss to kill. So if we get into this like the situation where both players have more bases, the Zerg is going to feel really uncomfortable, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we are seeing Kaz keeps kind of reinforcing, try to keep forcing these fights to happen, but when it's just Hydras and you got like decent upgrades from the Protoss units, the +2/+2 just finishing now, the weapons upgrade, the armor gonna be slowly behind it. It's like you're still dealing with Archons, you're still dealing with Storm. When you're just doing a pure Hydra army like this and you're trying to keep pressure on, it has the chance of working, but you can see like these fights just not going as well as you would like, and every time it feels like the fight ends and the cost is down about 30 supply. So he's buying time to get some of these expansions going. He's adding some more drones. Hypetech's now also finished, so he can start working on some of these like bigger tech units that might be able to secure things a little bit better. But it's just, I want Kaz to be a little more defensive. Chill out just for a little bit, because it's not like the attacks are focused to kill the 3rd base. know, like he just kept trying to attack the army in the middle of the field for the sake of killing Protoss units, and that just that usually is just not the right call.
Yeah, I think maybe he just didn't quite digest that the game had kind of equaled out. Because like if he was way ahead of Protoss, then maybe maybe he could wipe out the whole army. But after those fights, the Protoss had a lot more value left. Lost a lot of zealots, but kept the more expensive units alive. I do wish maybe we saw this Protoss army move around the map a little more. I know he only just got this third up, but we are seeing the Zerg expand pretty aggressively here. And these, like if this army was roaming around, it could maybe shut it down.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, I think, for Cause whenever an attack really gets committed. Because like you were saying before, like some of these bases not as easy to defend, especially that fourth one has like multiple entrances and ends, all wide ramps, and we're seeing a bunch of the units try to maneuver around. That's why it's tossed moving forward, but because like he's not keeping the army together, there's an opportunity to get some damage done here. Lots of observers though, making sure that lurkers aren't going to be the problem if there is a fight that goes awry. Finally groups everything back up together. He's drilling towards the natural, and it's going to be hard for Cause to defend.
Nice storm on the lurkers here. Yeah, these lurkers are way too far forward. They get picked off immediately by goons and storms. This Protoss army is threatening the natural now. Oh wow, he sniped all the. Nope. Okay, yeah. I mean, now he sniped all the observers. Very nice play from Cause, kind of saving himself here, I think. Oh god, the Protoss army is getting chewed up here.
This is the classic mistake.
Yeah.
When you don't have observers, like you can just think like, oh, I'm gonna win this fight for sure. It's no problem at all. Then lurkers have everything to say about that. Still a pretty good army win, but losing so much more than he needed to once the observers got killed.
There's a Templar walking into the third. Oh man, this Templar just walking into the third base of Zerg. Amazing he made there. It's the storm drones. So some reinforcement Templar did show up to that army, but there's not much left after getting chewed up by the lurkers. And now Cause is going to feel pretty good after that fight. You know, he's just expanded and won a fight, so he's going to feel really good. There's even a drone down here at the, what is this, like 5 o'clock, ready to expand?
Yeah, it seems like there's definitely something there. Lurker actually protecting the 5 o'clock that the pros would take, and like it's, I don't know, like 4 o'clock. I don't know. It's hard to tell when you're trying to read a square as a clock. But probe does go to the top left area. It does see that there's a base there, so it knows that like that might be an opportunity to attack. I think one of the things that we're just seeing from SOS Toss, especially that last fight particularly, was trying to attack to a spot. It's like he lost the observers, that didn't help at all, but you're not pulling the Zerg army in a position where it's like, if your stuff was at the natural and I attacked the fourth, it's never going to get there in time. He went right in the middle, so everything could reinforce it and flank at the same time.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It feels like they established some of these other bases, let them have those bases, and go for the thing that has the best chance of winning, which at the time was the fourth. And you can see Lings moving down here, going to stop this next base for SOS Toss. And this is looking going to be very difficult to actually establish the next base after losing so many of these fights, trading so many units back and forth. Now you're dealing with like high-tech Lings that have the speed upgrade and the attack upgrade. It's just, this is getting out of hand quick.
Yeah, this is where it gets real hard for Protoss. If you can't get like in this phase of the game, I think it's all about Protoss trying to get a fourth base. Everything just keeps getting shut down, and Protoss can't trade a base from the Zerg. It just eventually just the Zerg machine will just wear him down. So SOS Toss is making a move at the top left base here, but there's already sunks and there's already lurkers here. I'm sure, yeah, we have like a flank of Lings from behind, so this could be pretty hard. We do have a ton of Templar though.
Well, the Lings are going to cut off the...
Oh, he stormed his own observer!
Oh, no.
I've done that so much. Oh, it hurts so bad. He might be able to have enough storms to kill his lurkers. There you go. So it looks like SOS Toss is kind of surprising me again. I didn't think we'd be able to kill this base, but it's looking pretty good now. We do have reinforcements. Oh, there is a Defiler.
Yeah, when you're really leaning on these Dragoons to be your big attack, once Defilers get in there. Plagues are definitely going to be a big... Well, Plague's being researched now, so I'm assuming Consume's already completed.
Yeah, there you go. He's consuming. Although, this Darksworn basically only stops the goons. I think it is such a small fight, though. I think it's probably going to be worth it.
I actually don't know offhand. Does it not stop Archons? Like I know they call them melee.
They do splash.
Yeah, but like they stop the.
They are ranged, but they do splash, so it's kind of like tanks where they don't do all their damage, but they do a lot.
Yeah. Well, still, we're seeing a lot of lanes trying to go in. Such cheap units that can get some big value. Reinforcements for SOS Toss. He wants to absolutely make sure he can wipe out this base. But you can see, like, with that one sunken that's just chilling under the Dark Swarm, that isn't going to get killed unless some Zealots get on top of it. A little bit unfortunate. Finally, Dark Swarm goes down. Looks like the Defiler might be able to get taken out. It's just such a long battle.
Server. Oh no, I thought so much. Okay. Yeah, the Defiler is finally consuming back up through that critical energy there. There we go. We do see another Dark Swarm, but there's not that many Zerg units left. This Templar actually kind of hiding in the Swarm Cloud. The Hydras can't snipe him. There we go. Here we go. Some more crackling showing up. I think they're going to be able to clean up Zealots at least. Here we go. The Protoss trying to take his fourth, but Link's right there. Oh my god, this is from my nightmares. Link's always there trying to kill my bases. Oh, the Nexus doesn't even get cancelled. Just gets killed.
Oh man, it's just such a rough situation. Chat pointed out that my mistake that Darkstorm does not protect buildings. Absolutely correct.
Oh, yeah,
I always forget these kind of things. Like, I'm trying my best here. I just can't believe that these players are fighting so aggressive for this top left side where it's like, look at the bottom right. That drone could have been a base forever at this point, and everyone got seen. Like, it's unbelievable that like all this attention, it went from fights in the middle map, now it's fights at the top left corners. Like, there's no backing down. It's like neither wanted to just take the strategic loss and go for something else instead.
You know, that Defiler does go down. Oh, there are some more at the top left base. Protoss trying so hard to get this expansion up, but there's just a constant flood of Lings here, just enough to slow him down.
I feel like if SOS Toss made the choice to get the base up, he could have, but it was all about getting that pressure on, trying to establish, like, I'm going to kill your fifth. It's more important than me establishing my fourth. And you can just see, like, these lanes get streaming a little at a time, and it's like, especially we're at that point in the game, when you have the filers and have all these things, like, how are you going to, like, you're going to have Dark Swarm Lings. Like, you're not going to be able to use cannons. You already got these lurkers you're having trouble dealing with as it is. And you see Cause's supply finally, like, getting a very clear lead since early in the game. This is being stuck on bases like this, effectively now one mining base. That's what it's tossed. It's not like the fights were going so badly, but so focused on getting this attack to work. And you can see now he's just in a really brutal spot. He ran out of time.
Yeah, there's only this one mining base. It's about halfway done, maybe even 2/3 done. Looks like he's Cause is thinking, well, maybe he might take the bottom base, so I'll send all my links there just to keep that from happening. Yeah, so Cause is just locking down all the possible expansions. He knows that if he could just starve out the Protoss, there's no way he can lose this game now.
Yeah, I think it's at a good spot. We got upgrades that have been continued for Causes to be going. With the there's an armor upgrade about to be finished. Melee attacks are being upgraded right now, and then there's an Ultraless Cavern researching that Chitin is playing. So, like, this army was already hard to deal with, but once you start throwing some Ultras in the mix, that's not going to make things any bit easier, because the unit's good against Ultras, not here just yet. Link's trying to stop this, make sure Protoss can't get that bottom base, but there's enough units here to make sure that job gets done. And finally, a probe moving over. SOS Toss is going to try again, take a fourth base. We'll see if there's another 5-minute battle over whether it's allowed to happen.
Yeah. Does seem like Cause, I guess, was unprepared to block that off. He's going to try to send Lings from across the map. And this army's going to be pretty good at shooting up Lings. I wish he still had that Templar. Yeah, these 4 3/3 Archons are definitely what you want to take care of Lings. Maybe they're going to get around, though, and just kill the Nexus. Oh my god. This is so painful.
And it gets canceled immediately. So, at whatever cost this is, even if he loses all those lanes, I think this is a great opportunity. You see a Lurker try to get some damage done, but there's an Observer with this army. It's going to make sure that doesn't get anything too critical. The lane's getting cleaned up, but it's just buying more time, slowing things down. And there's a drone over at that 9 o'clock base. Look like Cause is going to take the 6th base. That 4th boss SOS wanted so hard. It's like, nah, how about I take that base? That base looks great.
Just mine out all the money on the map. This drone over here at the 4 o'clock is still not turned into a hatchery.
I mean, that's
so there we go. The entire Protoss army is up here on this cliff. There's not even a probe again. Oh, big storm though on those Hydras. There we go. So the probe gets there. The Nexus has started once again. Maybe SOS Toss keep his army just a bit closer, keep those Lings from running around. But still is really dire for our Protoss friend here. Zerg has so many bases, so many drones. They have all the tech. We're getting these ultras out, and I feel like ultras, like, they won't turn the tide of a ZVP, but they are a good, like, finishing move. Like, if you have this big lead on economy, just pump like a round of ultras, and they're so bulky. They can just run over a small Protoss army.
Yeah, I mean, it's just hard to fight some of these things when you have this, like, especially this very melee-focused army like this, because, like, ultras are great, so are links, all these things, but really it's that plague. If you get a plague on and, like, hit all of these zealots, ultra's gonna mow through that so fast, because, like, while you got surface area, while you do, like, pretty good damage, like, the real...
Speaking of plague...
There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. And you see that SOS is trying to engage immediately, but with everything getting weakened here, this is, like, not really a fight you want to take. And Darkstorm going down, trying to slow things down. Some units getting killed, but you see more Defilers here, so much ready. We're not seeing those ultras we saw the research for just yet, but it's another pretty big army win when SOS toss. Like, the money's not quite there. That base didn't get established. You can't afford to keep losing armies like this. I think Kaz loves this trade right here.
Are you seeing this Darkstorm where Archons can't be killed by Hydras and Lurker can't be killed by the Archons? That's pretty great. There is a Reaver showing up to this party, but I think it's too late. There are Lings and a Lurker here that can kill the Reaver.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's ridiculous that Lurkers just do full damage under Swarm? Like,
I think Lurkers are ridiculous. End of story. So like that's.
Yeah. There you go. Please delete them for the game, Blizzard.
I mean, if you want to turn this into one of those kind of streams, I'm all on board. Like, it's preseason. We can just complain about Zerg. There's no problems.
Yeah,
here.
dude.
Everyone's gonna agree.
Oh, there you go. SOS Toss does GG out. I feel like this game was like as long as half of the other games put together.
It is very realistic for that game. Took quite a bit of time in comparison, but that was a good back and forth game. Just there's too much focus, way too much focus on the middle of the map or fighting for the one corner. It's just so much of I'm gonna stop your base and never I'm gonna take my own. I'll just go somewhere else. Like if SOS Toss did that game could have looked so much different. But he just never got the fourth base up because he just wasn't willing to go to a different location.
All right, what number game are we on now? Is this 7 or 8?
8 or 9. Honestly, I don't even remember.
Oh,
don't even remember. But I mean, the time's just flying. We're having such a good time here. These games, they're gonna eventually close up, and I'm gonna be sad that we won't have any more to see.
All right, in the top right, winning the last game, we have the Red Zerg Cause. Sometimes he's IRK, sometimes he's not. And in the bottom left, returning once again, we have the yellow Protoss Dipwood.
I mean, maybe he got kicked out halfway through the series. Like, I saw how I saw how you're playing. This is unacceptable.
It's like you left that drone and didn't expand for too long. You're out of this clan. All right. Well, I can tell you that we have at least one more game yet, because we haven't seen the TVT of this group yet. So we have at least one more game after this one. Well, anyway, see what we're gonna see in this game. You know, no 7 pulls or anything just yet. Ooh, the pylon in the main. Now here's the question: is this a mistake? Did he forget it was Zerg, or is this intentional? Because if it's me playing, it's like a 50-50.
So it is things I've heard some people say that it's not the worst thing in the world. Like,
oh yeah,
you know, well, so like you want a wall. Like walling is what you want to do. Get used to playing 2-base play. But if you wanted to just go 2-gate zealot, it is like a little bit of a skill check. Does the Zerg know how to actually deal with that? Overpool opening, it's going to be reasonably safe. I think that won't be too bad to help defend against this. But we'll see what the play is from Dipwood. If it was just, oops, I forgot what I was playing against, or if it is going to be that dedicated, like 2 gateways, get that really good pressure on. Because if this is just like, if the one of those, I just watched Soulkey versus Snow on Whiteout, like that is not again, it's going to go well for anyone's CPL level. But there's that second gateway, just going to go 2-gate Zealot and force the Zergs. Like, let's see if you know how to deal with it, because I know you don't play against it often.
Yeah, I actually do like 2-gate. It can be great. Like, if the Zerg knows what they're doing, you feel really silly. Like, if they just handle it perfectly, it's like, oh well, now I understand why no one does this anymore. But you know, at our level, like it can be a very powerful build. So I don't hate on Dipwood at all for trying to go for this. So here, Kaz has scouted it. We'll see what he thinks about it.
Definitely has the full knowledge now. When you're like, you have you done 2K before? You're saying, so it's like, what are you worried about the Zerg doing here? Like, what's the thing that's just like, oh crap, if they do this, I'm in so much trouble.
Well, obviously, if they make so many links and you get surrounded, and lose all your zealots, that's bad. Or they do a run by. But I feel like the best defense is like if the Zerg is just careful, they get like a sunk or two, and they go as fast as they can to mutas. Because like even if you kind of rush to Stargate after the 2 gate on only 1 gas, it's hard to make enough Corsairs to stop mutas. You know, they can get like use Purge and blow up your like 2 or 3 Corsairs and then just kill you with mutas. And, like it feels really bad to be on 1 base and make cannons in your Corsairs, right? So I think that's like the best response.
Yeah, I definitely think there's probably some decent options that you could do for these kind of things. But either way, no matter what you do with this, it feels like because you're so heavily vested in 2 gateways, then you're going to be getting like a bunch of zealots. You're slowing down attack. Like you can see a Cybercore is not even started yet. Like I feel like if you could survive long enough to get to any tech, kind of you can choose whatever tech you want to get to. If you want to make it mutas, if you want to make it lurkers, like any of that kind of stuff. As long as you can get to it, that's really the big key you're going for. But even still, just like good Sim City, like and Sunkens should be enough to help handle it too. Because it's not like these are gonna be speed zealots. They're not gonna have +1 weapons or anything. It's still gonna be very hard just to navigate through this. And you're already seeing there's a hatchery. Here comes a creep colony. So maybe some of that Sim City to help defend this. Zealots moving across the map. The lane's not choosing to engage it just now. But Kaz knows exactly how hard his attack's trying to be. Let's see if he actually has enough to defend it.
And you know, we do only see 9 drones from Kaz after building all these buildings, and I feel like that is the real strength of 2-Gate. The Protoss can just keep making probes the whole time, and Zerg can get real scared and make so many links. So even if his attack doesn't work, I mean, making all these links, being more than double the drone count of the Zerg is really strong. Because there's only 1 drone at this natural, so like, effectively he just hasn't even expanded yet. He just has this territory with no extra income. Yeah, so he's made like 2 sunks. We don't see any tech coming from Kaz. Like he's even stopped mining gas. So I feel like Kaz is really scared, and you don't have to play this scared versus 2-Gate.
Well,
maybe make less links, make more sunkens. But so yeah, and now Dipwood has like a scary amount of zealots. And Kaz kind of, I think, hurt his economy too early.
Yeah, this seems very committed from Dipwood. It's like, this is an attack. Like, he has a forge. He made some cannons in the main, so the counterattack won't do much of anything. There's cannons and probes that are going to be able to defend that. Big Zealots trying to go in here. 2 Sunkens, but there's nothing really stopping them just getting right top of them. There's some drones getting pulled trying to help this. One of the Sunkens going down. A lot of the Zealots taking some big damage. Some of them getting bruised. I don't know if it's going to be enough to actually break through this, but it might reset the unit count.
Don't turn around now. The Sunk's almost dead. Oh man, Sunks are so strong though with that 2 armor. I don't really blame him for running away, but I think he could have got that Sunk. But even still, he's still way up on workers. No gas yet. I kind of wish we had some gas.
Well, I mean, he is starting that second Nexus, so this is buying him the time he needs to get things going. If he has a pylon up the front, so if you start getting some cannons, you wall us off, like slow things down here. I don't think this is actually a bad spot for Dipwood. Like I think you're saying, Kaz's reaction maybe not exactly what you're looking to do here. We do see still a lot of lanes trying to make some more creep colonies, but this is into that drone count, still back down to 10. It's hard to commit to all these stacked defenses like this. Although some lanes moving out, finally finding some good pickoffs on the reinforcements, so this lane's getting some stuff done. This is not bad.
Here we go, buying more time with these links, but I think the real story of this game is just the work count. You know, all the bars in all the meters in the top right. I mean, these with 3 sunks up now, I think these zealots aren't going to be able to push in. But Kaz hasn't really done much with all the time that he's bought himself. You know, if he'd been working to Aspire maybe or some other kind of tech, he could get something to show for it. But now he just has a couple of lings against a Protoss who's about to expand, who already has 2 cannons down, and who finally has started their tech. So after all, Dipwood is looking pretty good. in this game.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for Kaz to get back in this because when you have this few drones, you actually even saw he doesn't even have 3 guys in the main mining gas right now. Just needs some mineral income to actually kind of reestablish things. You can see the saturation just is so low from this. There's a lot of lings in the map trying to get something done, but there's still a bunch of zealots. They all got pulled back home. There's cannons at the natural, and there's still those cannons in the main, which at the time you were like, I don't know if that's needed, but it prevents any run by from going in and doing any big critical damage. Dipwood has a solid economy finally set up. Cybercore done, so whenever that choice for tech is on the way, and you can see a lair finally started, but still a while away from any big choices here. Stargate on the way for Dipwood. It was a weird path to get here, but now this game's looking pretty normal from the Pro side.
Right. There's a probe here, like it's about to make another tech, or maybe it's just misrallied. Yeah, okay, it's rallied. I thought we were going to see a quick citadel there, which would definitely be good to get speed on all these zealots that you have already. That is, we're kind of a bit far from this point now, but that is one thing that can get me sometimes, is if the Zerg just goes lots of Hydras. I feel like you just have to get speed zealots if you think they're going lots of Hydras. But I think at this point, Kaz's ability to make a scary amount of Hydras and attack has definitely been hampered too far for Dipwood to really be worried about that anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, if, there's a hatchery finally started third. Kaz looking like it's starting to build up some of that drone count lost to making all these buildings, and just when you had to make links instead. Laird's finished up, but you can see still hasn't put more guys in the gas in the main. I think just as I said that, finally redid it. So never mind. I just wait 5 seconds. It's my own advice,
Exactly.
and I don't take it. But with the Stargate done, first Corsairs out, going to be able to go over and see exactly what the situation is. And when you go over there and see, like, oh, there's not even a Spire started. I don't see a Hydra then. Like, or don't see Hydras, I should say. And then you got the third base, like, just started, but it's not even completed yet. Dipwood's going to see this and feel very comfortable with that spot they're in.
Oh yeah.
Actually, not even going straight for it. Actually going to go for an Overlord kill, which that'll put Kaz in the red as far as food goes. So, not the worst thing to go just now, but like getting that first scout immediately feels so good when you just know exactly what you're dealing with and how to react.
Yeah, when you're in this kind of game as Zerg, every Overlord counts. You don't want to spend any larva that you don't have to. And all the time it's going to cost you, like, there's going to be a larva that can't spawn because there's already 3 at these hatcheries. That feels really bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a rough situation, though. Like, +1 weapons on the way, adding on more gateways. So Dipwood goes from a weird opener to go into something very normal looking. Lots of gateways on 2 base. Already has, like, a big probe count, so... And it's starting to get the Templar Archives. Going to be able to scout the Corsair. So, like, this build is just looking super normal. Just an interesting path getting there. Kaz still struggling to really set up that economy. And you can see a bunch of Hydras being made. There's some Sunkets at the front. I think all you want to do right now is Dipwood. You don't have to do anything crazy, but Kaz probably is going to be like desperate to set up more bases. You should be able to get on the map, get that control, and either pressure this third or just at least make sure they don't get a fourth.
Yeah, I think Dipwood could absolutely kill that third. There's just not that many units anymore. Yeah, here we go. Looks like he is... Oh, maybe. Alright, just really want to kill that one link. Alright.
I mean, that move, it sounds like silly, but it's like, if that was your only spotter to know if they're moving out or not, like, that's a great thing to kill, just to keep the Zerg in the dark. And you can see,
yeah,
already the moment it
Kaz
died,
already put this Hydra stuff in there.
yeah, the moment it died, Kaz pulling back, like, forfeiting all the map control he can think of. There's a couple lanes just checking for if Dipwood actually ends up going for a third base, which that's good information if you can stop that. But this is still a pretty scary force. Legs now dumb, so is +1. This is a lot of zealots. And it's not like there's lurkers. There's some Hydras at the top of the ramp, but they could punch their way through that and get to that third base in a heartbeat.
Yeah, there's just not enough Hydras here. There's so many zealots. And pretty much just pure zealot. With that +1 upgrade, they're going to chew through these Hydras real quick, as long as the AI doesn't mess up too bad. Look at these lings. Yeah, these. I don't like these Zerg units trying to fight in the middle of the map. There's no way the zealots lose there with these numbers. Oh my god, look how dumb these zealots are. They could easily, like, if they just, you know, queued in orderly fashion, they could charge up that ramp. But now they're getting dragged into these sunks. I don't know if it's enough, but this is pretty much the ideal situation for Zerg.
I mean, mean, there's just not a lot of units here. The Hydra's finally getting pulled from third to come around. See if these Sunkets could be taken out before they get there. There's a lot of units, and these Zealots are taking a lot of damage, but they're still so strong. Fast with +1, just be able to do so much damage. Hydra's coming in to reinforce. Zealots aren't really, they focused and killed the Sunkets, but it's not like they're focusing for drone kills and not trying to fight things. This is like kind of a missed opportunity with the attack. One Zealot does get in the main, looking like he's going to be able to get a couple drone kills, but that's a big like army loss that we saw from Dipwood. Although it really is not that bad, because you think about the situation back home. There's a Nexus started for the third. Lots of gateways are already made. Like, he's in a good spot to replenish this, but I feel like that attack could have went a lot better.
Yeah, definitely a loss for Dipwood, but one he can afford easily, I think, given his position. And I mean, even losing these Sunks is going to be real scary for Kaz. You see, like, he's going to immediately try to rebuild one, just he does not feel safe. There were a lot of Lings went down, and a few drones, so I think it's more than enough for Dipwood here. Okay, these Hydras charging up the ramp. Do we have a storm yet? Can we get the big value? There we go. A decent storm after one of the Templar gets sniped. I think we definitely have enough units to save this third if we just move them all.
I mean, even the Zealots are already here. There's not a lot of Hydras, and it's not like they're upgraded. They're 0-0 still. They got the Hydra upgrades, but that's about it. These Zealots are already there. It's going to be enough. Reinforce is still moving up just in case, but that's not going to be necessary. Kaz going for a big attack, trying to stop his third, but lost a lot of units doing it, and just after Dipwood did that attack that he lost more than he should have, Kaz going in for his own counterattack, losing a bunch of things he can't afford. You see a drone moving to the fourth. He's not going to be able to defend the third right now. This is optimistic at best.
Yeah, I think maybe he's not just being optimistic, like you said, or maybe he's just not aware of how many more probes Dipwood has had for so long. Kaz is kind of caught up now. Like 34, 35 is a much more normal number for Zerg to have, but I think making all those drones just now is going to cost him right now as he Zealots charge up this ramp.
Yeah, this is a big one. Like, unlike the attack we saw before, a lot of Zealots here, more than we saw before. A couple Dragoons mixed in, but there's a lot of Storm. That's going to be the big key. Kaz trying to flank Hydras was going to be enough. And you see a lot of stuff staying on the low ground, not even letting it go through. There's enough Zealots up here. That's going to be enough to clear out this base. Big fight being taken in the middle, but Kaz just doesn't have enough to survive it and taps out. Ooh, classic 2-gate opener. Let's 1998, boys. let's go.
There you go. Now I have to give a shout out to Nebulheim in the chat. He says bases are even. The Zerg should be leaving. I like it. I like it.
All right. Well,
just have to. I can't let you have too much fun. Just gotta bring just one of those in every week. Just to remind you.
When's the book? You can sell it for CPL proceeds. Help us out. Like, go make the book, put it on an Etsy shop. Like, that's fine. The Blime's got the great knowledge. He's usually one of my co-casters. Currently on holiday. He'll drop the knowledge. You ever see him casting? Make sure you check it out. Now, before we get into this game, it's the TVT. But that's fine.
Right.
Maybe it's gonna be super fun and awesome. Like, you never know. I tend to luck into a little bit more of the exciting game. But unfortunately, it's also the last game of the night. So. Match of the week, just to plug it while I got people here again. We do match of the week. It's Tuesday, it's Wednesday, it's at 7 p.m. And we've got the Tuesday one tends to be lower tier games, so you get to see scrappy people just trying to learn. It ends up being, you see weird units, you see some silly stuff, it's fun, but the games are still fun and exciting. The Wednesday ones, like what you're seeing tonight, a little bit of the higher tier players that we have in CPL, and we're still going to be going through that, so next week we're going to have more. I know there's a cast on New Year's Day that's going to be done with IRK Royal Blue and Strikes and Gutters. They're doing that. They're going to be valiant heroes and not be super hungover and do a nice cast for you. So that way, while you're hungover, you have something to watch. So we got a little bit of stuff in the future. If you're on the CPL Discord, you'll see when we have more things heading the way, like more casts heading up. But there's always going to be the 2 matches of the week. So we got plenty of the casters, tons of VODs. If you look on the Discord, you can find links to everything. Now the shameless plug is done. We can't delay it anymore. Let's dive into a Terran vs. Terran. Casted by 2 Protoss players. Let's go.
Yeah, deep knowledge incoming.
Well, actually, I got a little bit more of the knowledge than maybe. We'll see.
All right, here we go. In the top right, We haven't seen him for quite a few games, but we have in the Blue Terran GM Arya, who I believe is in the chat. So hype for that. In the bottom left, what color is this? It's not.
This is like weird gunmetal military green. I don't even know what it is in the list, but it's like
Yeah. All right, in the weird military gunmetal green Terran, it's Midian.
all right. So I have a habit when I pick TBT groups. I don't pre-screen them. I'm not looking to see what they are. But I'm lucky enough that when I have TBT players, they don't do mirror builds. There's like one person that does CC first, or like one person that does gases expand with like a bunker, and then the other one. So there's some variance. There's like some forced play because like someone has a better opener to start with. But I tend to be a magnet for dropships and rates, which make this matchup way more exciting than just tanks divide the map down the half. Like, I'll stay in my shaded side, you can be on the light side, we won't take the top left base, like we could just hang out. So hopefully we're getting a game that's a little bit something like that, where at least there's a different build. Because like all the mirror matchups, that's the biggest thing I'm just looking for. It's just don't do a mirror matchup and then have the same build. Like that's what makes it boring to me. But it's like, when at least there's a different build, it still be pretty tense and exciting.
Well, definitely. Looks pretty similar here. Arya being a bit more confident, putting this barracks just a bit more forward. In TBT, I think this is more about scouting. This is more about being able to lift the barracks off and get it to your opponent's base that much quicker. Not like a huge cheese or anything to do that. We do have the gas coming out much faster from Medius. You think maybe it's like a gasless expand coming out of Arya?
That would make sense with the barracks placement.
Yeah, with the barracks being placed there.
You get the bunker next to it, make it hard for vultures to kind of get in and run by everything. So it's looking that way. So there it is. Like, it looks like we are going to see a little bit of that variation where Arya might be able to get the CC up a little bit faster, delay a lot of the tech, and it'll be up to Medias. So like they're going to have the factory tech. It's going to be vultures. Will they go straight to like starport stuff and try to abuse this opener for Arya? It's consistent. It's safe. And as I say all that, never mind, he like float in the barracks, not making Marines, which that is risky to not make any Marines. I hope they gets landed, they start making something. Like, you don't want to make nothing.
That's interesting. Like the gas hasn't even started yet. You don't have any vultures coming anytime soon. Let's see, the factory is started for many. It's going to be a little bit for this unit to show up. Maybe we'll have some Marines. Maybe we'll have a bunker. Looks like we are having Midias pump a few Marines, maybe to walk over and put on some pressure, or maybe to join when our factory unit comes out.
Well, you want to get away with making as few Marines as possible because they just don't scale into anything. They're useful for some early defense. You can like block the ramp, stop a scout, or if you want to have like a little attack, that might just be a little extra firepower. But it's like that's not something you want to heavily invest in early on, unless you are trying to cheddar cheese this game and you do not want to actually play TBT. We're seeing here, there's that bunker below the racks. So trying to constrict this area a little bit so vultures can't just run by through everywhere. A couple Marines here, but it looks like even Arya not making more and valuing actually keeping that wall a little more intact, while Medias already floating that racks. Definitely no more Marines on the way, but has that scouting info that's going to be able to move across. But we still, from Medias, don't see a CC started. We're actually seeing the machine shop.
Ooh.
So
There's a starport being proxied.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. See,
There
I
It's
get the
good
fun
TBT.
builds. I get the fun builds.
All right, so do you think this is like to get a dropship there really fast? Well, now that I say that, I feel like if it was a dropship, it would be placed like at the third base, so you could just fly right into the main.
I don't think you really want to commit to a dropship on a place like this as much, partially because to get the dropship you need the add-on. So it's like you are adding more time on this proxy. It's not like this is super hidden. I think this just get a Wraith in there as fast as possible, but we'll see what actually gets produced. Never mind, it's a starport with a thing. Like, it will be dropships. Now that Nablib's in the chat, he sees me taking guesses being wrong. I swear I was right before. I'm not taking any of this crap. I'm not even reading the chat. I don't need to know if he's going to make fun of me for this. But we're seeing it from Medias. Still no CC being started. Actually going siege against some tanks. So maybe some kind of tank drop, which I don't. Maybe? Like, I don't know.
Oh,
like,
wait a minute. Isn't there a low ground area, like, in this cliff behind the minerals? Can you put a siege tank in there?
I mean, is there a low ground? Like, I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know the map
right?
well enough, honestly. Like that's
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, like now that I
if
can't
so.
see it, I'm like, uh-oh, is there? But like, I'm pretty sure there's like a low ground area with a critter walking around. So I think, oh well, okay, I said all that, and he's getting a wraith, not a dropship. So there's that. But if you did get a dropship, I mean, I think if you got a tank in there, it'd be really hard for Arya to clean up here. Oh well, hold on, Arya has two starports, so we're gonna see even more wraiths coming out of him. So I don't know what's going on in this game clearly.
Yeah, I think that it's just that first Wraith might just be to get some damage done, get some harassment, because if you don't have things that can shoot up in the air, you don't have any turrets built, a Wraith will slowly start doing some damage and can kind of be a pain, but you can see Medias here getting some siege tanks moving very far forward pretty aggressively. That first Wraith going out, so even if that barracks goes down at some point, the Wraith will still be able to spot, and it looks like there is a little bit of an opening here, but I don't know if you could drop down into it. We're going to see what we can get done here. Another Wraith built from Arya just in time to stop the one from Medias. And which Wraith goes down first? Unfortunately, it's Medias, who, with the proxy starport, actually going to research Cloak too. But this Wraith's going to be enough to slow down these tanks. There's nothing here to reinforce it. So Medias' aggressive opening doesn't go as well as you would hope. Doesn't stop any mining. And Arya's still feeling like they're in a good spot. And with the two starports already made, a little bit further on the tech tree as well.
Yeah, I think it just took too long for Medias to get set up here, and Arya had plenty of time for that much faster CC to pay off. We do see Cloak almost being researched. Academy is done for Arya, but we don't see any signs of the comm sets actually being started or in eBay. So there is potential for these cloaked wraiths to be pretty scary, but there's so many wraiths already. For Arya, if he sees this starport, or if he gets any kind of scan or detection, he'll be able to clean that up really fast. I was informed in chat that you cannot put units in this little area down here.
Alright, that makes
so
sense.
of course, a dirty Terran would know that, right? Because I'm sure he's tried to do that at some point.
Well, unfortunately, these Wraiths are going to find this
Starport
building.
does get scouted.
Yeah,
I don't know if Cloak was finished or canceled, but it won't matter now. And we have Cloak started for Arya.
Yeah, so this is actually such a terrible spot we're seeing that Medias is in, because the CC was later. The barracks got taken down when it was aggressively scouting so much. So, and you can see there's only one factory here. So you actually have to remake the barracks before they can add any more factories. And that proxy starport getting taken down. So Medias' unit production is going to fall to shambles. He's going to try to take that time and actually get a third command center and hope that it just doesn't get punished here. But Medias definitely looking like they're in a bad spot. Although the worker count's good, the rest of it just doesn't look fantastic right now.
Ooh, and Arya taking this very cheeky third. That's gonna feel pretty good. I don't think it's gonna get scouted for a long time. I just looked at the worker count. Medias is pretty far ahead in that respect, but this, when he got reset to the Stone Age here with his production, that's gonna be real scary.
I know this.
I guess there's 3 factories and 2 starports for Arya, so we're gonna see a ton of units out in the field.
Yeah, some upgrades finally going down here. One of the advantages Medias will have eventually at some point is that the armory is being started now, so I think he'll have the race on getting those weapon upgrades. And you can see just a lot of, there's already a lot of race here, and then when that cloak's done, that's going to be enough to really help. Medias just has some tanks, trying to push out, get some turrets built as well. It looks like canceling one almost immediately. I don't know what's going on with that one. But
yeah, I don't know if it's in the wrong place or something. But that might actually hurt him. There's only one turret here. Can he snipe it down and then Cloak to kill all these tanks? Oh, the second turret might get up. This is how bad Wraiths are. They're so slow at killing things. Oh, he's going for the wrong turret. Oh, he gets up. All right. Oh my God, there's so many boys here.
That's a lot of
these SCVs doing here.
I think this is just enough to help repair, because like you said, Wraiths, they don't do a lot of damage very fast. You can kind of repair your way through that and not lose too much. The Wraiths fighting over a turret though, taking big damage, so Arya had this giant lead with an army and throws a lot of it away pretty quickly. And unfortunately, after that opening, now Medias up 20 workers, has the third CC they're going to have to fly over, but the unit supply is now even instead of in Arya's favor, so I'm very surprised at how this turned out. It was in such a good spot that Arya just took a really bad fight, and that's what TBT can happen. That you get in a bad position, you take one fight you shouldn't have, and you can lose a lot of your advantage very quickly.
Yeah, dude, Wraith are so bad.
But they're so fun. They're so
They're
fun.
they're really fun units, but oh my, they're so bad. Like I'm not even a Terran player. I'm like, oh man, this is pretty gross. So it's not over for Arya by any means, but Medias has a really healthy worker count. They've claimed their third. Uh, yeah, they're getting that production back up. Certainly got themselves back in the game with that fight.
I mean, Arya kind of forgoing, like, he has that extra base taken, but forgoing some of the SCV production for a little bit, really trying to crank the army up. And you can see there's some vultures, they got speed finished. You see some tanks trying to move around. So while maybe giving up on the gambit for going for these rates, trying to get something done, but sees a scan and sees like that tank line set up right outside. We can see if he's going to go for that option or just make sure that Medias can't push forward.
What else is going on? So we have the armory for Medias getting that attack upgrade. We do have a bit later of an upgrade out for Arya, but the +2 is the real big threshold of this matchup. And we see a second armory started for Arya. So it looks like both players are gearing up to go into a longer game. You know, the game stabilized. They can't really kill each other. They've got their third bases building up and investing in things that won't pay off for a while.
Well, we're seeing a lot of scans going down. Try to get an idea of where the opponent might be. And actually, it looks like there's some just scanning just to see if there's more bases were taken from these players. Meanwhile, another command center being started from Medias. So it looks like he's going to just go up that left side of the map. And this is the one of the things that I think you would really want to focus in this matchup particularly, because one of the big gates for the units seems to be gas. So if you can actually take that top left base and get that established, that's so much of an advantage that you get double gas off a single base like that. We do see Arya though taking their own base, so both players expanding at about the same time, just in their own different ways, which is funny to watch. But we're getting that kind of battle line draw on both players, setting up in position. Arya's a little more forward on the map, but remember, there's so many avenues to move around this. Arya is kind of like in the dark. If there was a couple voters that just ran around somewhere,
And
or
he's
like
not
navigated,
sieged. And
yeah.
Medias knows it. I think he's getting ready to move in here. And just as I say that, of course, Arya sieges up. But Medias is already charging in, shooting uphill, but he's got such a big numbers advantage here. Just blowing up that front line. It's only 2 tanks to like 6 right now. There are these cloaked wraiths here. No mobile response for that from Medias, but he is going to clear out this contained for now.
Yeah, another big fight for Medias. Like, even though the wraiths are still here, there's still a couple Goliaths. There's scans available to help see these things. So it's definitely going to be a difficult spot. And Medias, like, just keeps having these tanks staying alive, keeping control of the ground, and being up on these upgrades on the ground, having the +1 finished already. So it's a pretty big help to help win these. Although not trying to push up the high ground, Arya is still fighting back, so a little bit of this back and forth tank action that you expect out of this matchup.
Yeah, this is TBT to me. Like, tanks driving into each other, sieging, and then dying immediately. This is like peak TBT.
I just don't understand. If you're a Terran player and you love TBT, why don't you play Command and Conquer? Like, that's the whole game, right? It's just like tanks and stuff driving into each other. Isn't that like the whole game? That's okay though. This has its own unique feel to it. Like, one of the big things does seem to just be like trying to actually secure expansions in these kind of positions. Medias did a good job securing this position, but it doesn't feel comfortable moving forward. You can actually see from both players the money skyrocketing pretty high. Hard to actually get the reduction up enough to really spend the kind of money on this. And Arya going for that kind of fun unit I'm looking for, making use of these starports already built, and actually getting to go battle cruisers to help break open their siege line.
I think this is like about 45 minutes too early for the TBT meta, but I'm excited anyway. I can't wait to see what happens with these.
Meanwhile, like, Medias going for the kind of thing that I like to see people do when they get set up this big line. It's hard to break through. He's actually going into dropship, so he's gonna be able to move these units around without having to like unsiege, or having to give up this position, and try to find weaknesses in Arya's layout. Where you can actually, if you look around these bases, it's not like there's a lot of turrets here or anything. If they just get found, that's all you really need to be doing here. Although Arya not particularly trying to look for him at the moment.
See here, I am kind of worried here. I mean, there's only 3 factories for Arya, and like 3 tanks alive right now. This push is pretty scary. I don't know if they can buy enough time to get a decent amount of VCs up. Because I mean, Medias has had these like what is this, 7 factories for a real long time, and we see it and just how much bigger his army is.
I mean, it is definitely a bigger army. Look at these worker counts for both these players, though. 80 to 78. Man, they just like that is all this game is to them. It's just building workers and getting money. But are you going to be spending it on like that big high quality unit, these battle cruisers? Now, while they're not the most amazing thing in this matchup, it's definitely going to help Medias, where you can't just like he's only going tanks right now. It feels like you're going to force them to start making a decision, and anything built off energy helps you when you're playing this like big economic game. A couple of these dropships are done. We're see. You know, we do see the battle cruisers in the race trying to move forward. Big air action. A big vulture run by goes to 12 o'clock, and there's no defense here to stop Arya from losing a bunch of workers.
Yeah, it's just not. I mean, not enough units to really cover all this ground. We have all these tanks coming here, but you know, you don't want to be moving darn tanks to defend drops. You want tanks to be like claiming ground on the map. At the same time, well, okay, so Medias is like trying to take ground here, but this is like handful of wraiths just pew-pewing everything. So it looks like Arya does clean it up, loses some workers, but he's still at a very healthy 71. And these battle cruisers are out. Now, what is he going to do with them? Because usually they're like, when you have these like huge siege lines and you auto each other, but I don't really know how you use them in these, like when you're still fighting, you're not maxed out yet. So we'll see how effective they are in this kind of scenario.
I mean, really, I think even just the threat is just like stop building tanks. I'm gonna make you start making Goliaths. I have this like air unit, and if nothing else, like you can fly them over to some of these outlying bases, force a lot of turrets, which the Yamato can clear those out without too much issue. So like these battle cruisers definitely have opportunities, but it's like I'm also still waiting to see like these dropships have been made, like this big doom drop that Medias wants to go for. Like the preparations are there, but not actually loading up and actually going for it. Oh man, just saw.
Did you see that mine?
Yes, that's exactly what I just saw. that is unfortunate. They're like the perfect spacing just for them to both get killed by that. But I do like what we're seeing from Medias here. He's taking another base down at the bottom and doing a good job. Like just mines up at the top, where it's just, he's just very comfortable. I'll be 5 bases to 4. I don't need like extra win. I just need to win a bit. And actually, there goes the CC up at the top left. This is what I was talking about. Medias can be the one that establishes that top left. And we're seeing some dropships being moved over.
With a lot of dropships.
2 of them are empty, the ones at the front, so they're going to be able to eat the turret shots. But if you go to this base, like the defense is being made now. It's not done yet. And we'll see if Medias gets the opportunity. Skipping right over third, has no interest, wants to go for the production.
He's gonna drop something. All right, here we go. Only 1 full dropship makes it to that base, though. It looks like there's a battle cruiser here to defend your drop. That's funny. But Goliaths are pretty good. They do take 1 down. It looks like they will be cleaned up without too much damage. The battle cruisers are definitely scouted now for Medias, but we're gonna see a bunch of Goliaths come out soon.
Well, we do see Medias taking this opportunity. Gets the drop in, doesn't really get anything big done. It wasn't a big loss, but that does give him the freedom to move up a little bit further. A bunch of vultures on the north side of the map, kind of trying to encroach a little bit more, get some mines laid down, try to get a little more map vision and just constrict Arya so they don't have the freedom. But now there's enough battle cruisers that can start actually kind of pushing out and getting some damage done.
Here we go, seeing the big laser guns come out, clean up that attack real fast. Let's see how much damage you can get done before we see a swarm of Goliaths.
I mean, there's enough energy here for some Yamato, so even when the first Goliaths show up, like, it's going to be hard to actually do this. And you do see, like, Arya isn't only building air units, there is a ground army behind it, just not as impressive as what we're seeing from Medias. But both players are starting to near that maxed out point, and we're seeing that these bases are going up for Medias. I think Arya feels pressure, has to get something done. But if you lose these battle cruisers, if you lose like these big units that take so long to build, that might be the signal for Medias to take a big, strong move.
Here we go. We do have some Goliaths here, but the blue tanks are sieging up, doing a lot of damage, but these backers are dying really fast. Goliaths are just so good against them. Oh, here we go. Never mind. There's a reinforcement wave of BCs, but everything else, like all the support, is dead here. I think they are going to get worn down eventually. Maybe.
No, the Goliaths are going
am I
down
completely
first.
wrong? All right, yeah.
Completely wrong.
Okay, the BCs clear up everything.
Yeah, here's Cloak Race though. Those are going to be much better at taking these down. Scan goes down. It doesn't find the Race a little bit to the left too much. So unfortunately that these Race are going to do some pretty good damage. It doesn't kill off the Battle Cruisers, but weakening them pretty severely. Meanwhile, this is an opportunity. Medias trying to move out with some Vultures. Really just make sure Arya's not going to get that next base. So these Battle Cruisers are doing a good job, but like this Medias not losing a critical amount of anything here, and remember, both players still just have a very tremendously high bank, so it's not like these are crippling attacks.
All right, yeah, I think the real story. Well, I don't know, man. Like, this is TVT. I think anything can happen, but Abedias has so many bases. He's done a good job of denying this base for a long time. I think maybe he just doesn't know about the. What is this, like the 3 or 4 o'clock here? Or he would have dropped it, right? Yeah. He hasn't even scouted that part of it.
He's never been over there, yeah, so he doesn't even know. He actually has a base right next to it, too. That's like, you can just ferry over a couple tanks. We're seeing Arya trying to move out again, couple tanks, couple battle cruisers, see if he gets opportunity. There's not a lot of anti-air here from Medias, so might be able to clear that out. Arya attempting to establish this top left base, but it'll still be down bases even if it does get started. You can see the gas is finally going up at that top left, and Medias going to get that gas cycle that they've been trying to do. But look at the bank of Arya still. Like, for even supply, having that much more in the bank, I'm a little surprised by that.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many workers. I think he just has less production than his opponent, so Medias is just better able to spend his money.
That is definitely surprising that it's just basically 3 starports and like 5 factories for Arya. There should be more on the map to help reduce a little bit more. Medias' production, plenty of factories, but even compared to earlier in the game, didn't really add on a bunch more, so that isn't looking particularly great either. Looking at the upgrades though, we got a +3 weapons set for Medias, only +2s done for Arya, so a little bit critical. But lots of these air upgrades, so these battle cruisers are pretty strong. Lots of Goliaths moving up to that 11 o'clock base. Wants to shut this down, and this battle cruiser army is not going to be enough to stop this.
There's so many Goliaths here. Oh, and Arya just taps out. But you know what? At least it was a fun game, right? It was TVT, but at least we saw battle cruisers, right?
Yeah, it was definitely a fun game. I'm glad to cast a game like that. It was very enjoyable. I need to talk to Mr. Nablime King of Terra to tell me how to observe these, because it's like there's so much all over the map. Like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be looking at right now. It's all right. We're all here learning, even me. I've been casting for a while, but I'm still new. But that is gonna call it a night for our match of the week. We had a speed run at the beginning, but then some nice long games that kind of got developed. I want to thank Cold Warp Games. Thank you for being with me for the final cast of 2020. We're almost done with this year. We're so close, dude. Woo!
Thanks for having me on again.
Yeah, it was a blast. Next week, Wednesday, Thursday, you're going to see some more matches of the week. It's going to be 7 o'clock. Not sure what groups are going to get casted, but still preseason. Some point early in January, there's going to be a team reveal stream. You're going to be able to see it and have a great time if you're in the CPL Discord. We'll have announcements there. You won't be able to miss it, I promise. We have that YouTube channel, too. If you've missed any casts, go check out the VODs there. I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and I appreciate you spending your time with us during this hard year. We're almost done. 2021 will be better, I hope, please. It better be. But calling it a night for tonight. January 1st, like I said, our IRK Royal Blue and Strikes and Gutters are going to be casting for you. So you can be hungover, you'll hang out with them watching Brood War. Other than that, calling it a night, and we'll see you next week for Match of the Week.
All right, see you guys.